Yo, what's going on, man? Today is November the 22nd, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. I'm live on Twitter right now. I'm also live on YouTube as well. Man, gather around. Let's see if we can make some money on this huge NBA slate. We got a lot of games to get into, a lot to talk about. I appreciate everybody for joining as always. Not gonna lie to you guys, this card is so big that it feels a tad bit overwhelming, but I'm gonna do my best to break it down, give you guys what I'm looking at and the plays that I've made so far, and then we'll go from there. Um, and we'll go just like that. Before I get started, I do ask that people hit the like button for me to support the show. Retweet the show if you guys are watching on Twitter. And share the show as well if you guys know anybody else that's looking to sports bet or just listen to analysis. Definitely turn the notification bell on if you guys haven't already. And let's jump into it real quick. Always do a recap of yesterday. So I talked about a lot of plays that I like, but the ones that I ended up taking actually went 3-2 on the 5 plays that I talked about. And then I also took Toronto live plus 8.5, thinking that they would come back because the Magic typically get out the big leagues, but they never did. They never came back yesterday. So I took Toronto plus 8.5 live. That did not cash. Phoenix team total over for the first half. They had a stinker of a second quarter after having a pretty big lead in the first quarter. So they didn't cash their 61.5 points. And then, of course, they let down in the second quarter, like really big. Malcolm Brogdon had a couple crazy threes, and they cut into that deficit that Phoenix had established for themselves. So the minus 7.5 didn't cash in the first half. The team total didn't cash, and Toronto live didn't cash at plus 8.5. But Orlando first quarter, first half, both cash at minus a half a point there. Pretty non-sweat bets there, and then Phoenix did cover in the first quarter minus the 3.5. So we still ended up in the positive just because the bigger plays were the Orlando plays, and the smaller plays were the half unit plays were on Phoenix. So I know I talked about Indiana team total to go over. I just didn't go official with that. I actually didn't play it either. But their first quarter, first half, and full game actually went over. It was a lot of stuff that I talked about that cash yesterday, but neither here nor there. So hit the like button for me, like I said, and let's jump into the plays for today. So, like I said, it's a lot of games. I'm gonna try to go pretty quick. Just let you guys know how I'm looking at each game, give you guys my notes, and then I'll let you guys know what I bet already. We'll do the what I play segment at the end, and then I'll kick it to other people who want to hear, who also capped the card and got some looks that they want to share as well. So let's jump into it, man. First game up, we have the Denver Nuggets. They will be in Orlando taking on the pretty red hot Orlando Magic tonight. The Orlando Magic have been balling. They're one of the best ATS teams in the league. This spread, let me see. Let me make sure I get my notes up. All right, so so Orlando is catching 4 points as a home dog here. This total did trickle up just a tad bit. It opened at 217.5 is what I saw that last night. It's up to 218.5 on some books as well. Denver will still be without Jamal Murray. Najee is listed as probable. And then for Orlando, Wendell Carter Jr. and Markelle Fultz both remain out. They didn't play yesterday. They didn't have a problem against the Toronto team that really just could not find their footing. Denver's really struggled on the road. They're 1-6 against the spread on the road. This is the fourth game in 6 nights. The fourth game of a 5-game road trip, and it's their fourth game in 6 days as well. 6 straight non-covers for this team also. They do play in Houston on Friday. For Orlando, it's the second leg of a back-to-back. Of course, they didn't have any travel. They're 11-3 against the spread on the season, which is tied for the second best ATS record. They're also 4-1 ATS at home. This is the second game back home, and they got a big game against Boston coming up on Friday. So I don't really want to fade the Denver. I don't really want to fade the Magic right now. I feel like this team can pretty much cover against whoever they play against. But I do think that the way that the game ended for the Denver Nuggets, that we got to remember that Denver's coming off a game where they almost lost outright to the Detroit Pistons because Coach Mike Malone was thrown out of that game early. I think it was the first quarter, and then Jokic also got thrown out of that game before halftime. So I think Denver eventually is going to get it right. Conventional wisdom says you just take the Orlando Magic to cover this spread just because they have been covering. But I don't know if it's going to be that easy tonight. I think I can see it kind of going both ways. So I'm not going to waste your time. I will tell you guys one way that I did play the game. I played Paulo Ventura to go under his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists at minus 105 on ESPN Bet earlier today. I just think Paulo's in a really tough matchup tonight with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is a big physical power forward. This is the second leg of a back-to-back for Paulo as well. And if you look at his box scores, I think that the numbers are a tad bit too inflated because Wendell Carter Jr. really just hasn't been there. Back like far as head-to-head matchups with the Denver Nuggets, he's only played this team twice so far in his young career because, he is just entering his sophomore year. But he's actually stayed under the number in both games. So I think it's a spot where, I know Denver is on the fourth game in 6 nights, but I do think that, they take this matchup pretty serious and try to get back into ATS win column because they have not been able to cover a game. So Paulo Ventura under his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I like the young fella, but I think he's going to struggle in the matchup with Aaron Gordon tonight. Also couldn't talk people off Aaron Gordon as well. So those are my thoughts on the first game, and that's how I chose to play it. Paulo Ventura under his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I got it at minus 105 on ESPN Bet. Not sure what the best number is right now. Also, I've been playing Jokic rebounds. We didn't play the last 2 games. Thank God we didn't because he got thrown out of the last one. This seems like a pretty good game for Jokic to get back on his rebound track. I didn't play his rebounds, but could not talk anybody off playing Jokic over his rebounds in this one. Let's see what we got in the chat. Bala says, let's cash. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. J. Core says, favorite part of the day. Let's make some cash. I appreciate you, J. Core. I appreciate you being here, man. It's one of my favorite parts of the day as well. Justin says, good afternoon, my guy. The slate looks juicy today, so I hope we can get this bread. Definitely like the next team total look. Probably going to get there with you on that one for sure. That was Justin Smith. The other Justin McIvy, I think is how you pronounce it, says, yes, sir, just pulled up. Appreciate you tapping in as always, Justin. Brian says the Suns stopped playing defense and went one-on-one. It was brutal. Yeah, it was pretty bad, man. I was watching that, like, what are we doing here, man? Then Malcolm Brogdon just hit 3 after 3 after 3. And, yeah, they started zoning up on – I don't want to talk about it, but they started zoning up on Durant. When he got back in the game, Devin Booker was pretty much left out there by himself, and it looked like the Suns were kind of sleepwalking at that point. So, could have been a excellent night, but those ones didn't cash. What else? Sam says, great content, Chris. So glad we get to discuss different ideas and looks. Safe gambling. Yeah, that's what it is, Sam. Appreciate you for being here, tapping in as well. SK says, will Denver start getting more foul calls? That's going to be interesting, SK, because they feel like the refs been kind of swallowing the whistle. That's what both of them ended up getting thrown out for, is because they feel like they're getting called for bad calls, but then, they're not getting the same whistle on the opposite side. So, some trials and tribulations that the Denver Nuggets are going through on the road during this road trip. They got one more stop in Houston, I want to say on Friday, and then they'll get back to the crib over the weekend. But yeah, I'm not sure, man. It's really hard to fade Denver right now. What I will tell you guys is this: if you can force the Orlando Magic to shoot the ball from the outside, that's how you beat them. They shoot their bottom 5 in 3-point attempts. They don't like to shoot the 3. Their bottom 5 in 3-point makes. They just don't like to shoot the 3. The problem is they like to get downhill and attack the paint. If anybody got a chance to watch them yesterday, that's exactly what they like to do. And the Denver Nuggets, I looked it up. They're like middle of the pack as far as giving up points in the paint. So I want to say that Orlando averages about 51 points in the paint. Denver's giving up about 48. So it's not a real, no real advantage there. I think that's what it's really going to come down to, though, because if you can force Denver to shoot from outside, you got a big chance of winning the game. They don't have a bunch of marksmen outside from the 3-point line. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. Grind for greater says Jokic and LaMelo triple-double. I can see it. I can definitely see LaMelo getting a triple-double. And I couldn't talk you off Joker as well if you want to, make a small wager on those guys combined for a lotto. All right, cool. Raptors fan, last one real quick before we get back into it. Raptors fan says, Chris, how do you feel about Michael Porter Jr. under 17.5 points? So I'd be scared to take that, Raptors fan. I just feel like since Jamal Murray went out, MPJ has had to step up the scoring load. Him, guys like Reggie Jackson, KCP, you never really know which one of those guys whose nights are going to be. So I'd be a little weary of taking Michael Porter Jr. under 17 and a half points, but 17 is a pretty high number, being that this total is only 218. So the books aren't expecting a lot of points. Both of these teams are top 5 defensively. So I could definitely see, a lot of players going under. I just chose to play Paulo Banchero under his points, rebounds, and assists in this spot. So that's my favorite look in this game. Let's jump back into it. So let's see what game we got next. We have whichever banner I got next. We got the Washington Wizards playing against the Washington Wizards. Will be in Charlotte tonight. They'll be 4-point dogs, is what the line says right now. This total opened at 240 and a half, is up to 241 and a half. I saw a touch 242 and a half as well, and then it looks like some buyback has come on this total for this Washington Wizards game. So getting to my notes here, for Charlotte, Terry Rozier will remain out for this game. I think it's a clean injury report elsewise, outside of Book Knight and everybody else that hasn't been playing for the Charlotte Hornets team. Washington, pretty much same thing. For Washington, this is the first game first game on the road after 3 straight home games. They lost 3 in a row, and they failed to cover all of those games. They do play again on Friday against the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. On the Charlotte side, last game of a 5-game homestand, they're coming off the overtime win, probably a confidence boosting win against the Boston Celtics. They don't play again until Sunday. I really wanted to get here with Charlotte, but it feels like when Charlotte favorite, that's typically when you don't want to play them. So I didn't play them necessarily. I do have a really, really sharp look, strong look towards the first half team total over. For people who remember, I talked about this when the Milwaukee Bucks were playing against the Washington Wizards, and I say, is it just that simple to take the Milwaukee Bucks first half team total over? The number was 60 and a half. They were averaging about 60 and a half points in the first half, and the Washington Wizards started bottom 5 and giving up points. They're one of the faster paced teams. So I do lean towards Charlotte first half team total to go over. It's 60 and a half. I feel like that number's high for a reason. They haven't been the greatest offensive team, but I feel like they're kind of getting it together, especially with Miles Bridges back. I think you want to stay away from the second half just because they are coming off the overtime game. That was a hard-fought win against the Boston Celtics, a game they had to come back in. And then Washington, minus 10 in the first half net rating in their last 5 games. Bottom 10 defensive rating as well. And you kind of go through and just compare the two teams. Both of them have played against some really, really strong opponents. Both teams have played against the Bucks recently. Both teams have played against, I think, the Celtics recently. So both teams have played against the Knicks recently. So they've been really in some pretty bad spots. So I think, when the dust settles, I think Charlotte team total in the first half over 60 and a half is the way I'd be playing this one. It's Friday night in Charlotte. LaMelo gonna have the ball. He's been absolutely balling. Couldn't talk anybody over his points. His PRA is like 37 and a half, 38 and a half, 40 something. He's been crushing that, whatever that number is. I looked into that as well. I just kind of feel like it could be like he could have some help in this game today, and he might not necessarily need to do as much, but he has extremely high usage, so I couldn't talk anybody off playing him. Another interesting trend that popped up was since the 2013 season, and this relates to the total. Since the 2013 season, teams playing each other within 2 weeks, the previous total went over. It's a non-playoff game, and the second total actually opened higher than the previous total. That's 248 and 188 and 18. So that's 57% says that this game goes over. If both teams are below 40% in the win column, it's 22 and 11. So 66.7% says that this game goes over today. I think the Wizards, struggle to score, but I do like Charlotte, and my lean would be Charlotte team total to go over. Specifically in the first half, like I said, I think they could run out of gas in the second half just because I don't like taking teams in the full game, after an overtime game. So I think those tired legs tend to kick in the second half. The way I chose to play this game, player prop, Mark Williams, I am on him today. His points plus rebounds, 25 and a half. It was minus 115 on DraftKings when I locked it in earlier. And this one's pretty simple. Washington allowing the most points in the paint on the season. You look at Williams, he's been playing pretty good, overall. In his last, he's only played this team 3 times because, of course, it's his sophomore season as well. And those 3 times that he's played against this team, he's averaging 15 points per game, pretty much 14.7 and 13 rebounds. So that's 28 points plus rebounds. in his two most recent matchups. I'm sorry, in his most recent matchup, because these teams have played each other 2 times already this season. He went for 21 points and 24 rebounds. So that's 46, 45 points plus rebounds. I like Mark Williams to have a day-to-day. I like Mark Williams a lot. So I played Mark Williams over his 25.5 points plus rebounds. The Washington Wizards give it up to centers. Don't think that's going to change here. So those are my thoughts on this game. Let me get back to the comment section. We'll keep it moving. Steven says he likes Michael Porter Jr. under on his assists. JS says appreciate the Orlando picks last night. Yeah, I'm thankful for the Orlando picks myself, but I just feel like I left money on the table last night, so I'm not really excited about. I mean, I'm always excited about winning, but it just should have been a lot more money I won last night. Anyway, Zoe says, appreciate you making the comment though, JS. I'm glad you tell, man. Zoe Young says, I like LaMelo over for his PRA is 44.5. I like that look a lot, so I couldn't talk you off. Brian says, do we fade Poole? Tough to fade Poole when he's playing against a really strong, weak defense. Charlotte isn't the greatest defensive team. They're bottom 5. We've been talking about that throughout the season. I would fade Poole more if he's playing against a really good defensive team. Charlotte can have lapses, throughout the season. So I'm not big on fading Poole against this team. But Poole has been looking bad, so don't let me talk you off if you want to take his under. JS Brown says, do you like the full game over for the Hornets? No, I would only play the second half. I would only play the first half over for the Hornets team total. I think makes the most sense just because I don't want to play the Hornets, like I said, just because they are on the second, they are off an overtime game. So those are my thoughts. Shout out to my guy Big Marv in the chat, always coming through and showing the love. Appreciate you, Big Marv. And then JS says I like LaMelo for 30 points. I can see that. Derek says he's like Charlotte's team total over 123. He says Bridges back and Charlotte has been top 10 in pace. Also, the Wizards play no defense. That is absolutely correct. So if you like the full game, don't let me talk you off the full game team total. 124 points is a lot of points, but I cannot talk you off. Kalan says you like Kyle Kuzma over 21.5 points. I do like Kuzma in this spot tonight as well. I thought the number would be a tad bit higher than 21.5. But he's been their primary, scorer. He's the guy that's been scoring because Poole continues to go under, and Kyle Kuzma has actually been, somewhat reputable for this team and, playing pretty well. So cannot talk anybody looking at Kyle Kuzma to go over on his points prop. I would lean towards Kyle Kuzma over. It's two fast-paced teams, not a lot of defense, and somebody gonna have to score with a total of 241 points. So I would play Kuzma to go over, but not anything I have in my pocket. All right, let's keep going. Next game up, we got the Nets and the Hawks. So there was some injury news in this one that just came out just a couple hours ago. This game actually opened with Atlanta. I think I saw them laying 4 points yesterday. It might have just been 3.5. In my notes, I got 3.5, but I feel like I saw some 4s out there. So on the injury front, of course, Ben Simmons is still out. Cam Thomas is still out. Dennis Smith Jr. is also still out. For the Atlanta side, DeJounte Murray just actually got downgraded to a game-time decision. It's going to be interesting to see if he plays. Remember, I always say this, and something that you guys can pretty much take to the bank most of the time. When players hit that injury report late, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back, those guys typically don't end up playing, right? DeJounte Murray quad, now questionable, came out an hour ago, a little over an hour ago at 3:01. 3:01, so almost 2 hours ago now. That's not good for the Atlanta Hawks. This Atlanta Hawks team has been, really, really poor defensively. They really haven't stopped anybody. So yeah, just kind of take that into consideration. As far as my cap on this game, Brooklyn, they've been really, really good up until the last couple games. They back-to-back non-covers, but they are 9-3-1 against the spread this season. One of the best ATS records. They haven't played since Sunday, so they're probably going to be really motivated in this spot because they are coming off a 22-point loss to the Philadelphia 76ers at home. Like I said, back-to-back non-covers, but they are the more rested team here. Atlanta just 1-6 against the spread at home, and they're 3-7 in their last 10. So they really struggled specifically on defense. We know that they played a game last night against the Indiana Pacers where they just couldn't get a stop in the second half, and we see Indy just run the score up against them. They just play so fast that it doesn't really lead to them being able to play a lot of defense. In my estimation, Brooklyn is the better defensive team here. offensively. I know that they can struggle at times, especially without Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas, but they are becoming more reputable offensively. I think looking at game script wise, and I tweeted this out earlier. We know the Brooklyn Nets want to do. They want to get up and down the floor. They want to shoot a bunch of threes. You get Nicholas Claxton back now. I do like the Brooklyn Nets in this spot. I didn't play it. The spread did come all the way down to 2 with the news about DeJounte Murray. I played the team total to go over for the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets team total is 115. Well, it was 115 and a half when I tweeted it out earlier. I think that's I don't think. That is my favorite look in this game. The Brooklyn Nets team total to go over. So you look at the Hawks, like I said, second leg of a back-to-back in which their starters all play pretty heavy minutes outside of Clint Capella. And that makes me think that, and also, I'm not sure if people knew this, but yesterday's game with the Indiana Pacers was the highest scoring game in NBA history that didn't go to overtime. So they combined for 300 plus points yesterday. Shout out to my guy, Ben, who asked me to look that up. And I actually found that, it was 300 plus points scored in that game yesterday. And it was the first game with that many points without regulation. So in the 13 games this season, the Hawks have actually only held their opponent under their team total in 3 out of them. But their last 7 opponents have actually gone over their team total in 7 straight games. In the Nets, you see them coming off 2 days of rest and beat down versus Philly. I think the Atlanta Hawks play at a top 3 pace, but their bottom 3 are defending the 3. So I think it's going to be a lot of points for the Brooklyn Nets in this one. So I did take their team total over 115 and a half. That way I'm not really worried about the spread at all. And that's the way I chose to play this one. All right, so let's keep going. I'll get back to the comment section. Let's see what we got. We got Mike R says, Chris, what do you think about Brandon Miller under 15 and a half points? He's only cleared that line 3 out of his last 10 games he's played. Hasn't hit it the 2 previous times he's played Washington. So I know it's Brandon Miller's birthday. I know a lot of people like playing off birthday narratives. When I watch Brandon Miller play, he's actually been hooping. And you think about, when I think about this Charlotte Hornets offense, they don't have a lot of scorers, right? They're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. So I think that they need all the scoring that they can get. I wouldn't be fading Brandon Miller again. First of all, I'm not fading anybody against the Washington Wizards defense. So that's already off the table for me, Mike. But if you love it, play it. I'm not here to talk you off. I just can't take an under. It could be somebody in this chat right now that's in the spaces. I couldn't take your under. You could not pick up a basketball in 5 years, but the Washington Wizards defense is really that bad. I couldn't do it. But best of luck to you, man. Janky Sports says he likes DeAndre Hunter over his 11 and a half points. He might feel some type of way after that lackluster performance in a heavy offensive game last night. I can see DeAndre Hunter, especially if DeJounte Murray gets ruled out. He's going to get the minutes. He's one of the better defenders. He's going to be on the floor. So I cannot talk you off of that look at all. Derek says Hawks are too inconsistent to feel any type of confidence laying points, in my opinion. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. And no Murray would be a huge loss. If Murray gets ruled out, you might want to jump on this now. That way you can get Brooklyn at dogs, especially coming off back-to-back losses and a 20-point loss. So it's not like they, just chilling in Atlanta. This team does want to win. They want to win games. So yeah, I could get behind Atlanta in this spot tonight, but I don't have a ticket for Atlanta. Just being honest with you guys. All right, let's keep going. Next game up, we have the Toronto Raptors facing the Indiana Pacers. Let me check the injury report for this one. We got Koloko out and Thaddeus Young out. They've been out for a while. Andrew Nembhard is a game-time decision, and Aaron Nesmith is also a game-time decision. All right, let me get to my notes here. All right, so both of these teams are on the second leg of a back-to-back with travel. I think that's pretty interesting. Indiana has won and covered their last 3 meetings head-to-head between these two teams. Toronto, since the start of last season, this was an interesting nugget I found when I was capping this game. Since the start of the last season, in road games with no rest, they're 1-9 straight up, just 3-6-1 against the spread. They're also 8-2 to the under in those games, 4-0 to the under if the total is greater than 220. I'm not saying that this total is going to go under. That the money is actually coming in on the over. This game opened with the Toronto Raptors as 3.5-point dogs. The line is actually coming to their favor. And the total opened at 237.5 and is actually up to 241.5. So The Pacers, you either play the over or you stay off the game. The Pacers are 10-0 to the over in their last 10 games, and it still doesn't feel like the books have really caught on to how good the Pacers are. This team is absolutely electrifying on the offensive end. They don't care if you miss, they don't care if you make it, they don't care if it's a timeout. It just feels like they just do halftime, whatever. They just run up and down the floor and they never really stop. They don't care how many points you score. They just want to score every single time down the floor. I'm not sure that this Raptors team is going to be able to slow them down. I know that the Raptors are coming off a pretty bad loss. They should be motivated in this spot. The spread indicates that the game is going to be a little closer than we may have kind of estimated. But I'd be looking at the Pacers over their team totals. I think that's the easiest way to go. It makes the most sense. Their first quarter, first half team total. I know it's the second leg of a back-to-back, but it's also a second leg of a back-to-back for the Raptors as well. And one of the things that I didn't get a chance to look at for this game specifically was I wanted to look at, and I'll do it real quick right now. So I wanted to see if a team was playing with no rest and their opponent is playing with no rest, and they both had to change sites. So previous site does not equal current site, and opponent previous site does not equal opponent previous site. So both teams having to travel after their game, and both teams on the second leg of a back-to-back. I just wanted to see if that while that loads out. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can do this somewhere else. This was actually on the top of my mind. I just didn't get a chance to get to it today. So, and he's actually having a lot of time. So it looks like not anything significant. Okay. I'll leave it at that. The way I chose to play this Raptors and Pacers game, player prop wise, I did take Jakob Poeltl to go under his 8.5 rebounds. For everybody who tuned into the show yesterday, somebody actually made a comment and said, Chris, do you like who was it? It was Clint Capella. Chris, do you like Clint Capella double-double? And I said, I don't really like taking opposing centers playing against Miles Turner because Miles Turner draws you outside of the paint. So I think Jakob Poeltl is in that same situation today. For people who may have tailed or listened to that insight, Miles Turner pulled Clint Capella outside the paint yesterday. Clint Capella finished with 5 or 6 rebounds in the game. I think Jakob Poeltl's in that same situation today. He's gonna have a tough matchup against Miles Turner, who's gonna who loves to space the floor and is gonna pull him away from the rim. Jakob Poeltl only has 1 double-digit rebounding game in 14 career games against the Indiana Pacers, and he averages just 5.6 rebounds per game. Versus Miles Turner specifically, Jakob Poeltl averages just 6.6 rebounds per game in 11 matchups. He's 10-1 to the under on his rebounds. So this was actually 9.5 when I was capping it earlier at -120 on DraftKings. The money started to flood in on Jakob Poeltl to go under his rebounds. So I ended up taking it at 9.5 versus the 8. I'm sorry, at 8.5 versus the 9.5, and I got +110 on DraftKings versus -120 on DraftKings at the 9.5. So Jakob Poeltl under his 8.5 rebounds, +110. I put a unit on that. I really like Jakob Poeltl to go under. It's a lot of different ways you could play overs in this game, of course. The other one I was looking at was Scotty Barnes over his 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists, -120 on ESPN Bet. That's just a lean right now, but I'm probably going to make that an official play. Just haven't locked it in yet. Scotty Barnes is going to have to play well. The Pacers aren't playing much defense, as you guys can tell, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a track meet. It's kind of indicative of the point of the total going up from 237, moving up to 237, from 237.5 up to 241.5. The Pacers haven't had a total this high. I'm sorry, the Raptors haven't had a total this high in a very, very long time. So Jakob Poeltl to go under his 8.5 rebounds and Scotty Barnes to go over his 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists are my favorite looks in this game. All right, so let's go back to the chat. And I couldn't talk anybody off. Strong leans towards the Pacers just to run it up again. The books have not caught on with how good they are, to be able to score because they've hit their team total, I think, in every single game so far this season. So those are my thoughts there. Fahrenheit says Nets give up the most points to small forwards. I feel that. Okay. Shadow says he likes Scotty Barnes over points, rebounds, and assists as well. But what do you think about Schroeder over 5.5 assists? Seems too low versus Indiana. Yeah, that could be a good look as well. I talked about liking Schroeder yesterday. He actually came out and balled. If you know anything about Orlando, they typically struggle against guards, and Schroeder was the one guy who did play well. Siakam also cashed yesterday on his assists. I know Dream was on his assists, and I think it cashed in the first half. So yeah, I couldn't talk you off Schroeder assists. That might be a sneaky prop look. Over 5.5 assists for Schroeder today. Could not talk you off. S. Dot says, damn, they got caught slipping. Thought we had another 15 minutes. What up, Chris? Thanks for the Magic first quarter, first half. Appreciate you tapping in as always, S. Dot. Interested to hear your thoughts on today's game with your Miami Heat. Derek says Pacers first half money lines seem like the play. Toronto 29 first half. Indiana number 1. Toronto got the business in against the Magic, and I don't see them keeping up with Indiana. I kind of feel the same way, Derek. I just didn't get there. I think it's better plays on the card for myself, but could not talk you off at all. Coop likes the Scotty Barnes look as well. Points, rebounds, and assists over 32.5. Feels like a game he could fill it up the stat sheet in a fast-paced game. I absolutely agree. If Scotty Barnes doesn't have 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists, I think this team might lose by 30 tonight. So could not talk you off. Steve says, Chris, do you still like the Nets team total over 117.5? Not as much. I would not play a total when it moves 2 points, Steve. So you gotta have the notifications on, man. You gotta have the notifications on. I gave it out at 115.5 with no juice. It's only a 3-pointer away, but sometimes these lines are sharp. So would I still play it? No. But can you still play it? Absolutely. Maybe you play it for a smaller unit size. I put 1 unit on it. Maybe you play it for half a unit or a quarter unit. Zoned Up says the man, the myth, ChrisBeCappinn, hit the like button, hit it. Appreciate you, Zoned Up. Appreciate you for reminding people, man. If you guys have been cashing, or if I bring value into your capping process, or you being able to make some money, hit the like button for me, man. Definitely would appreciate that. Brian likes Schroeder over 15.5 points. JS says OG averages over 14.5 last 8 versus the Pacers. Okay. 2 Millie says, what website do you use for stats? There's a lot, 2 Millie. It's not able to talk about that right now in significance just because it's such a big slate. But shoot me a DM on Twitter at ChrisBeCappinn, 2 P's, 2 N's, and I can give you some resources for sure. My members get resources as well. I always say that. I got a resource tab, so like a document with all my resources on there. So maybe I can shoot that to you a little bit later. Johnny says, what do you think about Barnes' points and assists? Could not talk you off. I like the whole PRA over, Johnny. He got hot takes. Says, let's get paid, Chris. That's what we do it for. That's what we do it for. How do you feel about Pacers on a back-to-back? Too young and fast to matter? Yeah, I looked it up, Tyler. The Pacers are 2-0 so far this season on the second leg of a back-to-back. They're a young team. They just run up and down the floor. Could, being in a game that had 300 points scored in it affect them, some way this game? It could, which is why I stayed off the game. But, I don't think it's going to be a significant issue in this spot as well. Big Marv says, yes, sir. Notifications got to be on. Yeah, that's a fact. Leroy says, Chris, you like the over in the Wizards game. I talked about that already, Leroy. I talked about Charlotte team total in the first half specifically just because they're coming off the overtime game. But I did have a strong trend that backs the over for the full game as well. Just didn't get there because I don't want to play Charlotte when not a second leg of a back-to-back. But coming off the big overtime game, they are, both of these teams are praying pretty fast. So I couldn't talk you off the full game over. I just didn't play it. I played Mark Williams over his points plus rebounds at 25.5 instead. Let's see. Iffer says Pacers allow a ton of points in the paint. They do. They actually allow, I think, second most points in the paint behind the Washington Wizards. So, yeah, if you want to attack that, I think it's a good way to do so. Kilo says, what do you think about Kyrie? We haven't gotten to that yet, Kilo, so bring that back up when we get to the last game of the night. And then last comment says, Sam says, is the Bucks game going to be a good battle for him to keep up within 4 of the spread? I'm a bit nervous. Sometimes the league is inconsistent and full of disappointments. What is your take? We haven't gotten to that game yet. So I try to go in order, especially when we have so much going on. You guys can post comments about your plays and stuff, but I'm not gonna go over them if I'm not going on that game. So try to stick to the game. It's gonna make it a little bit easier for myself and just for the flow of the show. All right, so let's keep going. The next game up we have is that Bucks game, the Bucks versus Celtics. So this spread, let me just check it real quick. It was at 5.5. It came down to 5. Of course, there was news that Tatum, may end up. Well, he was downgraded to questionable because of an illness, so could be flu game Tatum in this one. We'll see how that goes. Not 100% sure. Don't see any more updated injury news, but I want to make sure. So yeah, just Tatum game time decision. Everybody else is pretty much, going. It looks like he's going to play in this one. Derek White will return. He missed the last game, that overtime loss against the Charlotte Hornets the other day, due to illness. I'm sorry, not due to illness. It was personal reasons. I'm sorry. So looking at this game, I think Boston is the right side, but I don't want to play Boston without Tatum, without the Tatum news. I think the Celtics, even though the Bucks have been, clicking on all cylinders, I do kind of feel like they've been playing some cupcake type teams. So the Bucks have been looking a little bit better. The Celtics have actually been looking a little bit worse. I had them on Sunday. I laid the 7 with them on Sunday when they were playing against the Memphis Grizzlies. They did not cover that game. They barely even won. They was, kind of teetering on a loss, and then they end up losing the game against Charlotte in overtime. Could be a look ahead game, to this Milwaukee Bucks team. We know that this is a big revenge game for Drew Holiday. Is what I wrote down in my notes. My guy Munaf is on his steals plus blocks over 1.5. He got it at plus money. Could not talk you off. I think we see a lot of energy and effort from Drew Holiday in this spot specifically. Boston, typically owns the Celtics. Boston typically owns the Bucks, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to lay the 5, especially without Tatum being in there. The other way I think you play this game is you just look at the Celtics team totals to go over, just because the Bucks, even though their defense has been playing a little bit better, like I said, they have been playing against some pretty, soft defenses. That spread is moving back in favor of Boston, back up to 5.5 right now. The total have gone down to 234, and looks like it's back up to 235.5. So to me, that might mean that Tatum is probably, maybe we got some updated news. I haven't seen anything on Tatum yet, but he might end up playing in this game. I think that's reflected here. Did we get updated Tatum news? Let's see. I don't see anything on Tatum, but the people smarter than me may know something that I don't know. So that's how I kind of would play this one. I think you look at the Celtics team totals, or you just lay the points with the Celtics in this spot. I didn't play anything in the game, though. Best of luck if you guys have any action on this one. Also, Celtics early. Celtics have been dominant early. Let's see what we got here. Coop says, my favorite play of the day, Mr. Drew Holiday, over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Revenge narrative. I know Drew Holiday feels slighted being involved in the Dame trade. Sprinkled the 8 and 8 as well. Okay. 8 rebounds, 8 assists for Drew Holiday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got really good odds there. Coop could not talk you off. That seems like a pretty good look. Drew Holiday should ball in this game. So I think Drew Holiday, however you want to play him, he has the favorable matchup. We know that this version of the Milwaukee Bucks defense is lackluster. They don't have a guard that can stay in front of Drew Holiday. He also could put Damian Lillard. He could put Malik Beasley on the block and just absolutely go to work. So Drew Holiday over his 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists, I think is a pretty good look. I'm probably going to get there on Drew Holiday in some form, some way. I just haven't yet. I feel like there's better spots on the board, but this is the narrative play, and sometimes the narrative play is cash. We saw it yesterday with DeAndre Ayton going back to Philly yesterday. So Drew Holiday, maybe his points, rebounds, and assists. I'll let you guys know if I end up taking it. But Coop, I like the look. Good call out there. DI says Tatum on triple double watch. I can see that as well. Historically, too, I think it's important to remember. I just thought about this. Historically, when Tatum plays against the Bucks, it's typically his rebounds plus assists, right? Like, he doesn't have the biggest offensive games as far as scoring the ball. But Tatum, if you remember back to, even 2 years ago when he was in these matchups against the Milwaukee Bucks, it's always been Tatum over his rebounds plus assists. I remember the line being set at like 13 or 14 and a half. That's the way I would look for this game if Tatum is, actually ruled into this one. So those are my thoughts there. Lillard's points over, Johnny says. I'm not on Lillard today, man. I'm not on Lillard. Best of luck if you do take him. Dame can always go crazy, but I don't like it from a pace perspective. Boston has been playing at the slowest pace, one of the slowest pace. They're top 5 defensively. So I don't like it from that perspective. Could he go off? Absolutely, but not anything that I'm on officially. Brian likes Derek White over his 13.5 points. The real DJ says he took Tatum over 15 points in the first half. Okay. If you build out Schroeder double, you can get a plus 1,000. Hit 4 times this season already, SK says. Yeah, Schroeder is actually a really good look in a fast-paced game, especially when we don't know where the points gonna come from. So Scotty Barnes is a good look, and I'm probably gonna end up getting there with his points, rebounds, and assists. But Schroeder in the back-to-back, he sat on the bench in the fourth quarter because they didn't play it. They didn't have anything to play for. Orlando mollywopped them yesterday, so should be a good showing for him. Shadow says Giannis over 4.5 assists. What do you think? He's been dishing the ball a lot lately. I can see it. I could definitely see it. I just don't want to. I don't want to play Giannis today. Not against the Bucks. I'm sorry, not against Boston. He could eat though. Like they don't have a lot of paint protection outside of Al Horford, who's going to be probably get a lot of play today with just to kind of keep Porzingis out of foul trouble. I also consider Porzingis threes. I think that he could bring Brook Lopez outside of the paint and stretch the floor. Brook Lopez not going to want no parts of being out there at the 3-point line, and we know that Porzingis has been getting them up. So I looked at the numbers. He hadn't really been playing too well against the Milwaukee Bucks over the course of his career, but I think he could be in a good spot tonight against Brook Lopez from the 3-point line. So lean towards Porzingis to go over his threes, but I didn't play it. Coop says he likes the stocks as well. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Drew Holiday. Estat says he likes Damian Lillard under. I would lean more towards the under than the over as well for Dame. And Dame's one of my favorite players, but don't like the matchup, like I said. All right, let's keep going. We got a ton of more games to get into. Next game up I got is the Heat and the Cavaliers. So I think I want to say I left this one up because I wanted to of course I don't see it now. I wanted to give you guys this is actually not the game. So all right, Heat and the Cavs. Let me just go to my notes. So this one actually opened with the Heat as road favorites against this Cleveland Cavalier team. They were laying 2 points, I want to say. Yeah, they were laying 2 points. The news came out earlier today around 1:30 that Donovan Mitchell is ruled out for this game as well. I think Karis LeVert is listed as questionable. He did not play yesterday. The Miami Heat are coming off a game in which they got a bounce back revenge win against the Chicago Bulls. They're a much more rested team in this game. The Cleveland Cavaliers actually pulled off an upset in Philadelphia last night and beat the Philadelphia 76ers shorthanded. So a really big game from Jared Allen. Evan Mobley played well. Darius Garland looked like looked like he needed to be in the All-Star game again. So Cleveland, not the greatest spot. This total trickled down as well. 213 is what it opened at. It's down to 211 with the Donovan Mitchell news. I don't want to trust the Heat on the road in this spot. I know, I think I like it better if the Heat were actually catching points, but I don't want to take the Heat to win by margin. It's not a big margin; it's just 3 points. But does Cleveland have enough to kind of stay in this game? I think they could potentially. This is a revenge game from Max Strus as well. He's been playing really, really well. I think you have to look at his numbers tonight, his threes specifically. Especially if Karis LeVert doesn't play, because it's going to just be more offensive potential for him. Also be interested to see if we get Porter numbers. I'm not sure if people have been watching, but Porter Jr. for the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think he had 9 points and 9 assists last night. He's a very, very solid, confident guard that provides some playmaking for this Cleveland Cavalier team, and they need that at the guard position when you don't have Donovan Mitchell out there. So, he had a bucket last night in the crunch time. And then he got an assist on the back-to-back. So I like that. I like that look a lot. But we probably won't get Porter numbers. Probably something you end up having to take live. I do kind of lean towards the Heat in this spot, but like I said, not enough for me to actually play the Heat in this game. Like I said, Strus revenge game. That's a narrative that's out there. We know that the Heat are one of the worst 3-point defenses in the league. So, like I said, that leans towards Strus as well. The Cavs second leg of a back-to-back with travel as well, and it's off an overtime game. So I think that's what I had pulled up. So real quick, just so I can share this with you guys. So looking at dogs that are coming off an overtime game on the second leg of a back-to-back, and it is a conference game. They're playing against a conference opponent. Those teams are if I can get this to speed up. Those teams are, well, yeah, this says just take the Heat. 65 and 166. If you're a dog coming off an overtime game on the second leg of a back-to-back playing a conference opponent, these teams are only winning the game outright 28.1% of the time. So that's 71.9% of the time. Says that you just take the Heat in this spot. You trust the number, you take the Heat, Miami, to win the game outright. Maybe you just play the money line. I'm actually gonna write that down, put a star beside it. Miami Heat money line, or see what I can get the best spread at. That says you just take Miami. I actually like this trend a lot. Let's see if we just look at it. Some live capping real quick. Let's see if we look at it since 2018, just like a five window. Yeah, it gets even stronger. Just 8 and 24 are teams that are dogs coming off an overtime game on the second leg of a back-to-back facing a conference opponent. 75 times out of 100, the more rested team is going to win. I didn't even add that the opponent has a day of rest. Let me go back and add that real quick. And opponent rest is greater than 0. It gets even stronger. So yeah, maybe you just take Miami on the money line. I hadn't really looked too much into that one specifically. I was looking at it more so for the Minnesota game versus Philly, but we'll get there. All right, let's go to the next game after I check out the comments real quick. Snag says he does like Dame over 24.5 points. He likes the Heat money line. Coop says, I would play Strus 14.5, but that overtime game last night has me cautious. I couldn't talk you off of that. I just think that somebody going to have to score. Brian likes Miami in the first half. Snag likes Strus under. It makes sense because, Snag, you like the Miami Heat. The only thing you ever play is the Miami Heat stuff, so that makes sense. Strus to go under. What else you say? Dame over. Yeah, Miami Heat money line. Yeah, Snag, you just riding with your guys, man. I understand. Johnny says Bam points under. Bam is in a pretty difficult situation tonight against Drew Holiday against their front line. I know they're coming off an overtime game, but I'll be looking at Bam to go under on his points in this spot as well. It seems like somebody else is gonna have to step up. Guards typically kill the Cleveland Cavaliers, so couldn't talk you off of playing one of those guards. Could be a Duncan Robinson night tonight. Yeah, I can see that. S. says Heat trifecta. Bam being questionable has me slightly concerned considering the size they have. Cavs going into overtime last night. Heat hitting on all cylinders. Strus over his points. Duncan over his points. So he likes Strus and Duncan to go over. Okay. Will Jackson says, what up, though, Chris? Top player today for me, Jimmy Buckets, over 23.5 points. I could see Jimmy. It could be a big Jimmy game. I don't know who they have to guard Jimmy. Jimmy probably going to be a little frustrated at Strus as well, just for leaving the team. He didn't like that. He tweeted it out after the game. I mean, after both him and Gabe Vincent had left. So I can see that. Jimmy Butler tonight. I can see a big Jimmy Butler game tonight, especially when you think about the reduced role that that Bam should be not as effective as he typically is if we're just going off matchups. Estai says they both have something to prove. We got Butler under 0.5 made threes at plus 170. This line used to be over 0.5 made threes at plus 170, but recently he's been making some. Plus 170 is wild though. Took a stab at it. Okay. Fahrenheit likes Strus over his 3.5 assists. Strus 4 for 4 on the line without Mitchell. Miami gives up the third most threes to small forwards. That's what I like to hear right there, Fahrenheit. Strus revenge game. I like it a lot tonight. Keith says loves Josh Richardson points tonight for Miami, Chris. It's one of those guards. I have no idea because Spoelstra just plugs and plays. Whoever's playing well, he rides. Whoever's not, he stays away from. So I could not talk you off of just pulling one of those guys' name out of a hat. All right, let's keep going. We're 50 minutes in, 200 people watching live. I actually need a sip of water. I don't even have a water bottle down here with me. So we just go power through. I still got about 7 games left. Hit the like button for me if you guys join, and let's keep going. Next game up, we got the Kings and the Pelicans. I won't be on this one long. I will, just kind of give you guys my brief thoughts. I still don't feel like I have this Pelicans team figured out. They are one of the better teams, I think, when they are whole. They are starting to get healthy. Najee Marshall then got about 5 or 6 games underneath his belt. They are still missing CJ McCollum, of course, but they got Jose Alvarado back. Herb Jones is back as well. Excuse me. They do have the size that can provide some problems for the Kings. The Kings are one of the better offensive teams in the league as well, though. So this one feels a little. I just don't feel confident like with a lot of Pelican games right now, and sometimes it's okay to say that, man. For the Kings, it looks like they will. Trey Lyles is still out. Keegan Murray is also a game time decision. I think that hurts them a lot. Herb Jones probably going to be matched up on De'Aaron Fox in this one. And they don't have anyone that can really contest with Zion Williamson, in my estimation, especially when you have Sabonis at the 4. If they're going to, Sabonis at the 5, you slide Harrison Barnes down to the 4, and then you got Kevin Huerter, which makes them even smaller at the 3. To me, this seems like a game that the Pelicans should dominate inside the paint. You pretty much can get whatever it is that you want with Valanciunas and Zion Williamson in the paint, in my estimation. So that's the way I would look to play this game. I would be looking at Zion Williamson probably over his points prop in this game, but I didn't take anything official in this game. This is not one of my favorite games on the board as well. Keon Lewis is also out for Sacramento, so they're extremely shorthanded. The Pelicans did smack them up in the last game, and then you see the Kings open as favorites again. To me, not just to me, but the trends say that the team that loses a favorite and then they're favored again in the next game, they typically come back with something. So couldn't talk you off. Looking at Fox, I think it's going to be could be a big Fox game. We got to remember that the Pelicans caught the Kings slipping. That game when they beat them the other day, that was the 3rd game in 4 nights, a 4th game in 6 nights, all on the road, and the second leg of a back-to-back. So, Kings have an equal rest with the Pelicans here. This is the Pelicans, I think, 5th and last game of a 5-game homestand. So I do, like I said, it's kind of conflicting for me just a tad bit, but the Kings are a really good team. They're 8-5 for a reason, and most of those wins have come with De'Aaron Fox being in the lineup. So I guess I kind of lean towards Fox to go over his points. Zion Williamson going to go over his points, but not a strong play on the total or the side in this one for me at all. Best of luck if you guys are planning anything in that game. Let's go through the comments real quick, and then we'll go to Bulls and the Thunder. Let's see. John says, I'm from Milwaukee. Drew White went viral in a rant letter. So he's probably told hubby to go. So she probably told hubby to go off tonight. I agree with that. I remember seeing the letter that she wrote as well. Drew Holiday was did dirty. They didn't even let Drew Holiday know that he was leaving. At least that's what she says. So yeah, he'll have a lot of revenge on his mind today, I think, in this spot for sure. Lane likes Laurie 2 threes. That's a tall black genius. He likes Kyle Lowry 2 threes tonight. S. Dot says, top player today, Jaime Jaquez, over his points. He's cashed in I believe, the last 7 games. Jaime Jaquez, the rookie for the Miami Heat. Okay. Would you fade Fox today? What about Sabonis rebounds and assists? I would not fade Fox today, especially coming off a bad game. They got blown out by 23 points. I'm pretty sure Coach Mike Brown is not happy about that at all. So I would not fade De'Aaron Fox in this spot today. We got some breaking news from Underdog. Denny Abdia available to play. Okay, that's all. I just want to make sure. I saw my phone lighting up. My other phone lighting up. Okay. All right, so that's what we got there. Brian said the sixth straight home game, I think he means, for New Orleans. Last game should be comfortable. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Solo says popular play today is Sabonis 10 rebounds and 10 assists, under 20.5 points, plus 750. What do you think? I think there's a lot that could go wrong, Solo, but if you like it, my brother, you absolutely play it. Do not let me talk you off. Sabonis, we did cash on Sabonis to go under. Shout out to my guy Munov. We took it at under 21.5 points for Sabonis in the last game, and he stayed under really easily. I think he had maybe 9 points in that game. Couldn't talk anybody off just going back to the well. I typically don't like to do stuff like that, but he has yet to go over his points, Sabonis, I think in 14, 15, 16 games that he's played against the Pelicans. So couldn't talk you off there. That to me means even more De'Aaron Fox. I'm writing De'Aaron Fox's name down. I'm gonna put him on the short list. I know he got Herb Jones out there, but somebody gonna have to score the ball today. It could definitely be a De'Aaron Fox type of game today. Buffalo says he took Valanciunas 1+ made 3 at plus 120. Raven likes the Pelicans outright tonight. Johnny says, Chris, do you have a 2-unit or 1.5 unit play today? I do not, Johnny. On big days like today, I typically go, maybe high volume with a couple with low high volume with low units being distributed because I don't like to go too crazy any day. Coop says he likes the Hawkeyes play from Estat. All right, cool. Let's keep going. All right, so next game up, we have the Bulls and the Thunder. This is a game that I'm really, really interested in. So let me get to my notes in this one. We have, let's see. All right, so we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not the greatest spot for them, but I mean, everything has pretty much been a good spot for OKC this season. This is their first home game, coming back off that road trip. They in that road trip, they actually covered and won every game. And then they were at home, they were covering and winning every game as well. They beat Golden State back-to-back times. They beat Portland and blew smoke Portland. Beat Portland 134-91. We were on the Portland team total in that game that cashed pretty easily. This team has covered 5 straight spreads, and they're doing it with their defense. Outside of the Golden State game, they went to overtime. It was they gave up 123. They haven't given up 110 points in any of their games, going all the way back to the Cleveland game, which was played on November the 8th. So 2 weeks it's been since they, have given up a lot of points. On the opposite side, the Chicago Bulls are really, really struggling. They did beat Miami 2 games ago, but then they got mollywopped by Miami and only scored 100 points. And I just don't see how this team is going to be able to keep up with OKC in this spot. This team has really, really struggled to score. It's been low totals because of that. Total of 210, 212, 215, 214. So the books know that they can't score. They put the total at 225 in this one. And I want to say that it's come down just a tad bit. Injury-wise, I should have mentioned this already. Caruso is a game-time decision. I think he's going to play. And then Levine is also a game-time decision. And until they blow this team up, I think I'm confident just continuing to fade the Chicago Bulls team. They'll be on the road in this spot. If you remember, these two teams did play to start the season. And OKC smashed the Bulls, and that game was actually played in Chicago. I want to say SGA had 30 points and maybe 10 assists in that game. So I did play OKC. I played them in the first half specifically because that's where the Bulls kind of struggle the most. They've really, really given it up in the first half. And I want to say in my notes I had written down, let me see what I had for this game. I had I know I wrote it somewhere. I just don't see it. The first half margins, maybe I didn't write it down. I looked at it. The first half margins have been absolutely abysmal for the Chicago Bulls. They typically end up coming back in the second half, but they get smashed in the first half. I don't see any reason why the Thunder don't do that again. I chose to play the Thunder first half -4.5. Then a -3.5 came out, so I put a little bit on that as well. Thunder, OKC first quarter, first half, one of the best net ratings. I want to say they're like a +14. You look at Chicago, they're like a -16. So pretty big gap there. I like OKC first quarter. I like OKC first half -3.5, -4.5, depending on what book you guys have. I also am going to add, and I haven't even given this to the members yet, OKC first quarter, -1.5 if you guys have access to Bet Rivers. A lot of people don't. So if you have access to DraftKings, you can actually get a first quarter -2. I think OKC gonna be winning by more than a possession at the end of the first quarter against Chicago Bulls at home today. So I decided to play OKC. I haven't played this yet, but I will be playing OKC first quarter -2. All the other books have it at -2.5. So OKC first quarter -2, OKC first half -3.5, -4 is how I chose to play it. Like I said, I just don't see Chicago being able to keep up. I think the Thunder continue to play basketball the right way. The Bulls are one of the worst three-point defenses in the league. OKC is one of the better three-point shooting teams in the league. I want to say the best three-point shooting team in the league. And the Thunder are actually locking up playing defense as well. So give me the Thunder in this spot. I like them first quarter, first half. Stayed away from the full game, but if they are losing or, one of these spreads don't cover, I will be taking them in the full game. I just don't see the Chicago Bulls being able to keep this game close. And those are just my thoughts on the game. So OKC first quarter, minus the 2. OKC first half, minus the 3.5 is the way I chose to play this one. Let's go to the comments real quick, and then we'll keep it moving. All dogs feel live. I don't know about the Bulls, EQ, but maybe. Raven says OKC minus 7. Loves the spot there. Malik says, I'm on the Bulls team total under 109. Just don't see them scoring. And this is a lot, man. Malik lives in Chicago. He was one of the guys that was giving me some slack at the beginning. He's one of the members in the channel. My guy Malik, shout out to you. But he's one of the guys that was, giving me some slack when I said Chicago didn't make a lot of moves in the offseason. I don't see them doing a lot this season. And they've been kind of lackluster so far. So if a Chicago Bulls fan is telling you that he expects the team total to stay under 109.5, I think it's a pretty sharp look, Malik. Best of luck to you tonight, man. I like that look a lot. Buffalo says I also took something similar, Chris. He has the same game parlay with the Thunder first quarter and first half money line at minus 115 odds. So as long as they're winning the first quarter, could not talk you off there. Fahrenheit likes SGA 31. SGA 31, 20, 31. I'm sorry, 31, 20, 30, and 31 points last 4 games versus the Bulls. I wonder what it is. The Bulls overlook SGA in the draft because he putting up numbers like they did. Frank says he's staying off trash tanking teams. So, yeah, that's why I'm fading him. But I couldn't talk you off just staying off the game, Frank. Fahrenheit says Kobe is food. I'm pretty sure he means Kobe White, and Caruso is too. Yeah, Caruso can play defense sometimes, but best of luck guarding SGA. Nobody really can guard SGA. So, yeah, we talking about superstar type talent. All right, let's keep going. We got a lot more games to get to. About 5 more left. So, Clippers and the Spurs. This game actually opened pretty much what it was in the beginning. I'm sorry, not beginning, but what it was, the last game. This is one of those kind of 2-game mini series. These two teams just played against each other the other day, and we know in that contest, the Los Angeles Clippers kind of broke out of their slump, and they were able to score some points. I kind of talked about, foreseeing that to happen because this was the Clippers' easiest defensive matchup that they played in quite some time. We did cash on the team total over for the Los Angeles Clippers in that spot at 119.5. And today, I want to say that number is still the same. The total in this one hasn't really moved a lot. And let me just say this real quick. As far as the injury news for this game, Devin Vassell is ruled in. So they still starting Jeremy Sohan at the point guard. Vassell played 2. Keldon Johnson will play the 3. And then you got Victor Wembanyama and Zach Collins at the 4 and the 5. Excuse me. I talked about Harden to go over his 7.5 assists in the last game, and I know he cashed. I forgot what the number was, how many he finished with. Then they opened him at 7.5 in this game, and he might have been at 6.5. But anyway, he cashed that. I think it's another big game for this Clippers team. I don't see a lot changing. The one thing that I see changing is Devin Vassell being entered into this lineup, which to me means San Antonio is going to be able to score more. They only scored 90. I want to say 90 points in the last game. 90. I'm not 90. I think they scored 99 points in the last game. So to me, Devin Vassell being in just to me means that the Los Angeles Clippers going to have to score even more points in this game to win this one. So that last matchup was 124-99. San Antonio has really struggled to score. Getting Vassell back should lead towards this game to go over. The last game stayed under, but it was really just because of the San Antonio Spurs, not scoring 100 points. They were projected to score 110. And then the Clippers were projected to score 119, and they scored 124. So I think the Clippers go back over their team total again. Let me see what I can find the best number for the Clippers to go over their team total because that's the way that I haven't played this one yet. And I don't really want to rely on the Spurs, even though they have Vassell. But I do like the Clippers. I think the Spurs can score in this one too, but I do like Vassell being back to kind of push this Los Angeles Clippers team to go over their team total. So this was one that I had on my short list, just hadn't got there yet. 119.5 is still the number. It's juiced at minus 120 on BetMGM, but you actually can get, well, actually, no, it's not juice. It's 119.5 on Bet365 at minus 116. So LAC, the Clippers, over 119.5. If you guys have access to Bet365, is the way I would play it. It is up to 120. I'm not afraid of the 120 number either. 119.5 is available on FanDuel. It's juiced at minus 120. Bet MGM has it at 20.5 at over 120.5 at minus 105. So if you're going to take the minus, if you want to, lay less juice, just 5 cents, then take the over 120. But I think the Clippers, it's going to be until the Spurs show me that they can play some defense. I think you just continue to see this Clippers team and every team that they play against go over their team total. So Clippers team total is also something that I'm probably going to end up adding in that's on my short list. I just haven't bet it yet. Best number, like I said, over 119.5 at minus 116 on Bet365. Couldn't talk anybody off Harden to go over his assists. Again, I know Paul George hit a bunch of threes. The Spurs are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the three-point defenses in the league, so could not talk you off there at all. Back to the comment section. I'm not playing Victor Wembanyama at all. If anybody wants to play him, play him. I haven't really been watching the Spurs play, and yeah, I can't. Victor Wembanyama seems kind of Jekyll and Hyde to me. He's up, he's down, he's up, he's down. I'm not on him. Jeff Parker says he likes Chet Holmgren over his 17.5 points. Could not talk you off there. Yannick Issa says Pacers or Raptors money line. What we thinking? I wouldn't be playing the Raptors money line. I would not play the Raptors money line. Not against the Pacers. Johnny says, will you take Jaylen Brown points 21.5? If Tatum's ruled out, I think you got to look towards Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown seems to be playing a little hurt to me. If I was looking through his box scores, I watched the game against Charlotte. I know he was coming off an injury a couple games ago. He's not been able to really shoot the ball well. The Bucks don't have a lot of great defenders, though. So, yeah, I probably would lean more towards Jaylen Brown and go over his points, especially if Tatum doesn't play, but no strong look for me. Buffalo says I took Wembanyama 4+ turnovers. As decent-sized underdogs, he turns it over quite a bit. I think that's pretty sharp, Buffalo. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Maybe he has a little less usage with Devin Vassell returning to the lineup, but couldn't talk you off. Yannick says, any money line locks for the night? We don't even use that L word, so I'm going to overlook that. No such thing. S. says Heat, money line, and Mavs. Okay, we're going to get there. We're almost there. Bet on JC says he likes PG over. I couldn't talk you off. I think PG and Kawhi are, we definitely know they're the best scorers, but they've been kind of finding their groove and I think kind of solidifying themselves like, hey, I'm the man here. James, you can come in and score, but look, let me, you can facilitate, but let me get the ball. I need to score. And that's what it feels like. Not S. Doug and D, appreciate you tapping in, brother. I will go over everything at the end and let you guys know what I'm looking at. Appreciate you, bro. He says like and subscribe as well. Definitely do that. If you guys haven't, appreciate everybody for hitting the like button and retweeting the shit I have already. I'm a Heat fan though. All right. No word on Tatum yet. No word on Tatum. I'm still waiting for the news. I haven't seen anything on Tatum yet. Yeah, last thing we got was Denny Avdia. All right, so let's keep going, man. I'm so tired, bro. All right, let's keep going. We got the Grizzlies and the Rockets up next. This is so many games to break down, man. Grizzlies and the Rockets. So this game, the Grizzlies are coming off that almost win against the Boston Celtics. They did cover that game. They will still be very, very, very short-handed. Marcus Smart is now still out with the ankle injury. Of course, Luke Kennard is still out. Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman. The list goes on and on and on for this time. They are starting Desmond Bane, John Conchar, Santi Aldama, Jared Jackson Jr., and Bismack Biyombo. The Houston Rockets, revenge game for Mr. Dillon Brooks. I know a lot of people probably read the quotes, but this dude really just came out and said that it's, kind of like your girlfriend that you let go, and then you miss her, and that's how he feels. I think it's a big, big game for Dillon Brooks tonight, man. It's not a guy that I like, but you got to like the way Dillon Brooks plays, man. I think it's a pretty big game for Dillon Brooks tonight. His 1.5 threes was plus money earlier. I want to say it's still plus money on some books. I think Dillon Brooks could hit 3 threes in this game, man. I haven't put the bet in yet, but I'm probably going to end up taking Dylan Brooks. When I wrote it down earlier, it was plus 105 on DraftKings. And if I take him at 2, I'm taking him at 3 as well. And I'm probably going to put a little bit on 4, just so you guys know whether it's official or not. Dylan Brooks 3s is the top look in this game, in my estimation. A pivot, Fred VanVleet to go over his assists. I know the number's high at 8.5, but he's been crushing this number. I'm not really afraid of Memphis defensively. I think that they are due to regress just a tad bit coming up here soon. So those are my top 2 looks in this game. I could not talk anybody off looking at Sengun. Sengun just had a really big game against Anthony Davis. And I know he got Jared Jackson Jr. tonight, but if you can do it against Anthony Davis, you can do it against Jared Jackson Jr. Also, Jared Jackson Jr. is liable to have 4 fouls in the first 5 minutes of the game, and really just watching like a fan from the front row. So those are my thoughts on this game. I will be looking. Sengun has been killing. I don't know what you play. Maybe you play as PRA. Fred VanVleet to go over his assists, and then also Dylan Brooks. I like his 3s ladder, but I couldn't talk anybody off the points if they just want to play him with the points straight. You go through, and I'm not going to give you guys all the numbers, but go through and look at the box scores. I think he's shooting 50% from the field. And the attempts are up in the last 2 games, and I think that correlates with how much he doesn't like the last 2 teams that he played against. He played against the Lakers. He went 6 for 11. He played against the Golden State Warriors, and we know that they had a lot of back and forth when he was on the Memphis Grizzlies against that Golden State Warriors team. He went over on his 3-point prop in that game and shot a lot of 3s in that game as well. I think he could have been saving a little bit for this game as well. So Dylan Brooks to go over his 3s, probably going to go official with that, but I just haven't yet. It's on my short list for today. And that's how I kind of see this game, man. That's how I see this game. I do lean towards Houston. I know that they are, back home at the crib. Houston first quarter minus 1.5 is a minus 105 on FanDuel. Houston first half minus 2.5 was a 109 on BetRivers, minus 109 on BetRivers. I'm probably going to end up playing both of those. Just haven't yet. But it's a lot to like tonight. A lot to like tonight. I did do the homework for those. I just not going to share all the information because I'm trying to get through the show and open it up for other people as well. But that's the way I would play this game. Dylan Brooks to go over his 3-point prop at 1.5. Sprinkle on the 3, sprinkle on the 4. Houston first quarter and first half. I think they're in a really good spot tonight, and they've been covering specifically in the first quarter, in the first half as well. So those are my thoughts on this game, man. Let me go through the comment section. Then we got 4 more games to get through, and then we'll be done. Let's see. We have Coop says, I know this might be the first time I bet on him, but Dylan the Villain Brooks over 11.5 points. If he takes 10 shots, he clears this number. I'm taking this 15 points as well. I could not talk you off, Coop. I looked at the points, and then I said, I think I'm going to take the 3. So hopefully it's 3, so me and you both can cash, but I haven't gotten there yet. He got hot takes, says if Tatum gets ruled in, you taking a full game spread? Probably not. I'm probably not going to take the full game spread just because I feel like there's other spots on the board, but I do lean towards Boston to cover this game tonight. I'm not a big component. Like I said, Milwaukee's been playing against cupcakes, and I think Boston has a lot of distinct advantages in this game tonight when you look at it from a matchup perspective. And they're off a loss. So as long as Tatum, gets ruled in, and I know he's not, going to be Erling during timeouts, like I'm probably going to end up on Boston, maybe first half because they've been the best first half offense in the league. I think it's the way I would play it. A lot of revenge and motivation for this game as well. The Celtics hate the Bucks, and Jrue Holiday probably hates the Bucks as well. So I do want to get there in some form or some way. He got takes, but I haven't played it yet. Matt says the same thing. If Tatum plays, you're on his points. No, if Tatum plays, I think I like Tatum to go over his rebounds plus assists over his points. That's just been what's been a cash cow. I said it earlier, so that's the way I would look to play Tatum in this spot. Coop says drop a like for Chris for power through large slate. I appreciate that, Coop. Trying to get through it, man. We almost there. Graves says love the Thunder in Houston first half money line parlay plus 129 on DraftKings. Always fade the Bulls. And Memphis is so bad with all those injuries. Great look. Yeah, I agree with you there, Grizz. I like that look a lot as well. S-Dot says 225 people watching. There should be 225 likes. I agree, S-Dot. Hit that like button for me, man. Run it up real quick. Fahrenheit says Memphis gives up the second most assists to point guards. Love Fred tonight. Ladder into 10. Yeah, I could see that as well. I could definitely see, Fred VanVleet, maybe Fred VanVleet has a couple games where he has 12 or 13 plus assists in his last 5 games. So could not talk anybody off Fred VanVleet. He has the ball in his hands so much, and he's playing heavy minutes too. He has like 35 minutes in like 5 of his last 7 games. So Coach Ime Udoka trusts him to run that offense. He's not turning the ball over either. So I don't see why you go away from him in this spot, especially with some rest. Duggan D agrees. He says Sengun's been killing. He has. Buffalo says he likes Clippers trifecta team total over at plus 210 odds. So you parlay all of them together, you get plus 210 odds for them to kind of get it rolling tonight and not look back. Okay. Fahrenheit says he's parlaying Pascal assist and Fred VanVleet assist. Couldn't talk you off. Could not talk you off at all. I like Schroeder maybe a little bit more, but couldn't talk you off. RG says, who do you think? Miles Bridges, Dillon Brooks, and Harrison Barnes, all threes? I'm not a big Harrison Barnes guy, but if you like him, go for it. AB says Drew Holiday is 6 rebounds a good look. I don't know. I would have to cap that a little bit more, AB, before I felt confident giving you some analysis other than just some feel type stuff. So not gonna really talk you on or talk you off of that one. All right, let's keep going. We got the 76ers up next. They will be playing against the Toronto Raptors. Terrible spot for the Philadelphia 76ers, of course. They will be traveling. Embiid has already been listed out, as probably everybody knows in this one. That is the only injury implication in this game. So Paul Reed will slide in at the center position. Kelly Oubre also, even though he got hit by a car, I heard reports that he could be back like next week, which is absolutely insane because he had broken ribs, or maybe he didn't have broken ribs. I don't know. Anyway, Minnesota has been absolutely dominant, nothing short of dominant at home, as most people know. They're 6-0 straight up and against the spread, killing teams on the defensive end, and they really just been running it up. They got their whole starting lineup today. The only thing that scares me a tad bit is how motivated are they in this spot? Because Philly, they know that Philly played a game last night. They know Philly went to overtime last night. But the spot lines up for a Minnesota team total to actually go over in this game. So one thing I was looking at road dogs that are coming off an overtime game with no rest, and they're playing in a game that's a non-conference game. Those teams are. Let me just look at a more recent trend. So since 2018, it's only happened 23 times. Road dogs, second leg of a back-to-back, coming off an overtime game, non-conference game. To me, what it says is that they don't typically care about that spot. They're giving up 121.5 points in that spot. And they're 6-17 straight up, 9-13-1 against the number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 times out of those 23 games have they allowed their opponent to stay under their team, total. So to me, that says you just take the Timberwolves team total. I think that getting Maxey getting Embiid off the floor, the Philadelphia 76ers are going to want to run and gun just a tad bit more. And they're not the oldest team in the world. You do got Nicholas Batum out there, but you still got Maxey, you got Milton, you got Tobias Harris. These guys aren't super, super old. I think that they'll try to run fast. I think you look at the Timberwolves to go over their team total versus playing this one to go, well, the 76ers might go under their team total. And if that's the case, you just take the spread, even though it moved to 7. But I do think the Timberwolves can score in this spot. I would look at the Timberwolves to go over their team total in this spot. I think the number is like 114.5. It feels like a game where they should score between 118 and 120 in this game. So I didn't play any player props in this one. Of course, couldn't talk anybody off looking at Anthony Edwards in this spot. Tyrese Maxey's in not a really advantageous matchup, I guess you could say, because the one thing for the Timberwolves is they will be without Jalen McDaniels. Of course, he's out with I think it was an ankle injury. He's going to miss, I think, at least another week is what Coach Chris Finch reported earlier today. So those are my thoughts on this game. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to try to get through the rest of these games real quick. Justin says, I'm on Harrison Barnes under 11.5 points. I don't know why that's funny to me, bro. I just can't. Harrison Barnes is such a night and day player, man. Tariq says, just hopped on, need to rewatch. Hit the like button for me. I appreciate you for shouting that out, Tariq. Jeff Parker says Edwards over his 24.5 points tonight. Shadow says, I think there's a chance Wolves blow them out. I think so too, man. LJ says Wolves 28-17 with rest advantage since the 2021 season. It's a pretty strong number. That's probably about 59%. It feels like 28-17, something like that. I like that a lot, LJ. I think you could just take them to cover the spread too, even though the number is 7 right now, and it opened at 3.5. Fahrenheit says 4 words. Tobias Harris points over. Second option with no JoJo. Love Gobert rebounds too. B-ball Paul is 6'9", 210 pounds. Okay. He got hot takes. He says Batum sold the game so bad yesterday. I think Maxey also shot 3 for 12 from the 3-point line. That didn't help any at all. Troy Jackson likes Tobias Harris over 19.5. SK going back to the Memphis game likes Bismack Biyombo over 7.5 boards. He's over 6 of his last 7, under last game because of foul trouble. Okay. Yeah, Bismack is only in there to rebound and set screens. That's all he's looking to do. Buffalo says he took a 2-team money line parlay with the Wolves money line and Dylan Brooks, 1 steal and 1 block. Love this play. Okay. Snag says fourth quarter yelling why the platoon in. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's keep going, man. We got 3 more games to get to. I don't have a lot on these games either, honestly. So Warriors and the Suns. The Warriors will be traveling to Phoenix. Well, they're probably already in Phoenix to take on the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are not in a really good spot, man. This team played like yesterday. They did end up getting a push on the 13 against the Portland Trail Blazers. And they kind of got to be tired sooner or later, right? Like, I know that they enjoy playing basketball, but they are coming off a game that went to double overtime a couple nights ago. And then, you kind of had to play your starters a lot of minutes in that last game yesterday as well. This Golden State Warriors team bounced back in a big way against the Houston Rockets, who won the second leg of a back-to-back just 2 nights ago as well. So I'm kind of torn, man. I don't want to back Golden State, even though they are a much more rested team. I feel like the Phoenix Suns can play defense, but I don't think they're in a spot where they want to play a lot of defense just because, like I said, eventually those tired legs are going to sit in. I thought that they would play better in the first half yesterday so they could kind of coast with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant minutes, but they weren't able to do that either yesterday. So looking at the starting lineups in this one, making sure I'm not overlooking anything. Gary Payton II did get ruled out. Of course, Draymond Green is still ruled out, even though I did see that he was practicing. They did, I guess, let him in the facility so he could start practicing with the team again. Watanabe is still out for the Phoenix Suns side of things. I think Phoenix can still win this game, but I don't like the spot for him, and I don't want to trust the Golden State Warriors. Of course, this is a revenge game. We know that Klay doesn't like the Phoenix Suns. We know that Chris Paul was shipped from the same team. It'll be his first time playing against the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. So maybe they look at just Chris Paul to go over his assists. Phoenix Suns are bottom 10 defensively last 10 games. And like I said, they're in a really bad spot defensively. So maybe you just look at Chris Paul to find, Klay and Steph and, Kuminga and against Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen, who aren't the greatest defenders. So I guess I kind of, on the fly, kind of lean towards Chris Paul to go over his assists, but I don't really have a strong take on this game at all. We go back to the comment section and we got 2 more games to get through. I Need Money says we're back on the cash cow. Lonnie Walker again over his 14.5. Love that. I actually I don't know why I wrote his name down, but I wrote down Lonnie Walker's name last night. It might have been in my notes on my phone. Love that he got money. I got money. I need money. Coop says, so this is the spot Embiid finally sits for Thanksgiving break. Ah, man, that's funny. Embiid decided to take this one off, man. Fahrenheit says he likes Phoenix money line -130 on ESPN bet. The Dubs are just bad. I like Kuminga over his points. Taking Wiggs and Klay alt points under lay. Oh man, that's tough. Fred says, "What's up, Chris? Just got in. What's the power play?" I'm about to go over and give a recap of everything that I played today, Fred, and give you guys what I'm leaning towards as well, and some of the looks that I'm probably going to end up playing. LJ says Curry over 5.5 3-point makes, 6+ makes. He's had 6+ made 6 out of 7 road games this season. Yeah, that's the one guy you do want to back, LJ. It makes a lot of sense just to look towards Steph. He's been cooking. He's really the only guy that's been cooking outside of the one time Klay scored 20 points in the last game. So could not talk you off, especially, with the Warriors' first road game after, 6 or 7 straight home games? So I couldn't talk you off. John C. says Chris Paul assists in a double-double he likes. Okay. Fahrenheit says like, comment, share, subscribe, retweet, buy some merch. Appreciate that, Fahrenheit. Appreciate you for sure, man. Shouting all that out. Definitely hit the like button for me, man. Long show. Like I said, the one day I got to do 200 games. I forget to bring my water bottle down here too. So it's all good though, man. David says I'm late to the party, but happy Wednesday, brother. Right back at you, David. Appreciate you tapping in. He got hot takes. Says Scott Foster's the ref tonight in Phoenix. We know he has a bad history with not with Steph Curry, with CP3. So something to look forward to there. Snag also likes Steph Curry threes. Jamal says he likes Melo over his threes. I could not talk you off against that Wizards defense. ASAP Aki says he likes Kuminga points and rebounds over at 14.5. Sometimes clears this number by his points, but he's as inconsistent as the Warriors themselves. And then we got to look at Christian Braun points as a sneaky one tonight as well. Okay. All right, let's keep going. We got Jazz and Blazers, and then we got Mavs and my Lakers, and then we'll get out of it. And then I'll be quiet and kick it to the speakers who got something that they want to share as well. So Jazz and Blazers, not a game that I'm extremely interested in. I do kind of feel like so injury wise, Walker Kessler's still out for Utah. Scoot Henderson has been upgraded to a game time decision. I think he's questionable in this game now. Portland Trailblazers fought hard last night. I think I talked about this yesterday. I think that's a reason to fade Aiden. After playing such a good game last night, he still didn't get to his rebounds, but he did score his points. I want to say he hit in the first quarter, if not the first half. He was mid-ranging them to death, and I talked about him having a good matchup against Nurkic yesterday. I also think I really want to fade this Portland team. I'm not a fan of this Portland team at all, but the reason why I can't do it is because the Jazz are so bad on defense. That really talks me off a lot. They don't have a defender in their starting lineup. Abaji maybe, but Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, Keontae George is a rookie, Jordan Clarkson. These guys are not trying to guard anybody. They're really just trying to go up and down the floor, shoot up as many shots as they possibly can. So while I can't lay points with a team that don't play defense on the road, both of these teams are pretty lackluster. The Jazz are 4-10, Trailblazers 3-11. Of course, they played last night. They didn't have to travel. The Jazz got mollywopped last night against my Los Angeles Lakers, so could potentially be a bounce back spot. But I like to play the Jazz at home, and I talked about this yesterday. Should have got on the Lakers minus 7.5, but I didn't. I'm not laying points with the Jazz on the road. Also, not taking them with the Blazers at home. So I don't really have a lot of thoughts in this game. Maybe Lauri Markkanen to go over his points. Jeremy Grant is a pretty subpar defender, can't guard anybody. Maybe bounce back game for Jordan Clarkson. He only had 7 points yesterday. I know a lot of people was on his over, so couldn't talk anybody off Jordan Clarkson to get back right tonight. Portland is a sneaky good defense, but I don't really like them a lot in this spot. Maybe if never mind. I'm not playing anything, man. Best of luck if you guys got action in this game. Let's go back to the comment section. Buffalo says, my boss asked if I'm available for a call. I said no. Watching ChrisBeCappinn. It might be the funniest comment I've ever read in my life. Shout out to you, Buffalo. Appreciate you, man. Nah, we're not available for calls. We're trying to cash tickets, man. Not right now. Tell them to hit you back in a minute. Leave your voicemail. JR Sports says Chris leans be cashing. Sometimes they do cash, man. I just don't like to give out 100 plays. I also don't like to play 100 plays because I like to watch the ones that I play. Can't have plays in all these games tonight. What's up to Fremons? My brother, appreciate you being here. Tapped in. Johnny says, I think Curry's assists go over and Paul points goes over. That's kind of backwards, I think, Johnny, but it could hit. Coop says, back to Keontae George assists train, over 6.5 versus the Blazers on back-to-back. Bill out the double-double on FanDuel for plus 955. Could be a big Keontae George night tonight. He was the one guy I was kind of looking at. But Portland, like I said, they sneaky good defensively when they want to be. I think they did kind of get up for the game a little bit more yesterday. Probably not going to be as motivated against this Utah Jazz team. So I can see that, Coop. Maybe he just plays assist straight. EQ says Hawks and Hornets should have home victories in this spot. Did we get any more breaking news? No, I don't see anything else. I want to make sure. All right, cool. Bam got rolled out, Burns said. I didn't see that. Did Bam get rolled out? Bam did get rolled out. Oh, wow. With a hip injury. So if you like Jimmy Butler, you might want to run to the window and get some Jimmy props. Let's go to that game real quick. Let me just see if I can find I know the number is going to be on the move, but let me see if I can find a solid line for Jimmy points real quick. Because I know we kind of mentioned it earlier, and Jimmy is in the most advantageous matchup today Let me see if I can find Jimmy props real quick, and then we're gonna kick it to the last game. Chicago, Miami, Cleveland. Jimmy Butler points are listed at 23.5. They are taken down in a lot of spots. 24.5 right now on BetMGM if people are interested in Jimmy Butler. That number seems a tad bit high, but he's going to have to do a lot of the scoring tonight. Josh Richardson, 8.5 is a tad bit intriguing as well now on Bet365. 8.5 for Josh Richardson seems like a really good play as well. And Haywood Highsmith, he's going to be the big. He's at 6.5 on Bet365 at plus 100. So, excuse me. Kevin Love has already been ruled out. It has to be a Highsmith game in my estimation. That's the way I'll be looking. I'm probably not going to get there and play it. But I appreciate Burns. I appreciate you shouting this out that Bam got ruled out because we got on that quick. So I would play Highsmith. I think Highsmith goes over the 6.5. Number only currently available right now, even with the books all shutting it down. And that's why I tell you guys to get Odds Jam because you can still see who has it available. I see BetMGM, FanDuel, DraftKings, BetRivers, Caesars, Sports Illustrated all have it locked. Bet365 does not have it locked. Plus 6.5 at plus money for Haywood Highsmith. But yeah, everybody shouted out that Bam was out. I appreciate you guys as well. The injury players got overcome their injuries. Duncan Robinson points, rebounds, and assists over. I can see it being the Duncan Robinson game. Frank says took Cavs Heat under 211 before the Bam info came out. Yeah, that's a fact, Burns. Burns already know. He got the Odds Jam subscription. My guy, shout out to Burns. All right, let's keep going. We got one more game to get into. I do have a strong look on this game, but I haven't played it yet. And that's the Dallas Mavericks against my Los Angeles Lakers. I don't like the spot for the Lakers tonight, although they did get a pretty convincing win last night against the Utah Jazz. The Dallas Mavericks, I think, are probably going to be locked in for this game. This line actually opened with the Lakers catching a 1.5 at home. Now that the money's come in on Dallas, I would agree there with the money coming in. The total in this one shot up as well. I think it was 234.5 is what it opened at. It's all the way up to 240.5 right now. Head to head, the Mavericks kind of own the Lakers. They're 7-3 straight up in the last 10 games. They're 7-2-1 against the number. They won the last meeting. And they've won 5 of the last 6 meetings as well. Now you can go back and say that those teams, haven't really, don't really look the same. Of course, you got Kyrie, you got, all the additions for the Lakers as well. But Dallas I think is going to be motivated in this spot. They're coming off a really bad travel spot. They were coming back home against the Sacramento Kings. We were on Sacramento in that game, successfully fading Dallas Mavericks. We took them plus 1.5. We also took the Sacramento Kings team total over. I want to say it was 122.5, and they scored 129. So I say all that to say that I think Dallas is going to be motivated in this spot. Off back-to-back losses to the Bucks and the Kings. I know that they were talking about how soft they were, giving up points in the paint. AD should have a big game. Does that mean he's going to? Who knows? And I like backing teams off back-to-back losses. The pivot in this game, however, though, especially if you think it's going to be a high-scoring game, which I do think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. Lakers on the second leg of a back-to-back. Not playing better defense, but they've actually been getting some cupcakes as well. Houston Rockets not the greatest offensive team. Last night, the Jazz not the greatest offensive team. So I do think the Lakers' defensive numbers are a tad bit overinflated. Lakers coming off 3 straight wins. They've covered 2 in a row, but I like the Mavericks, in this spot. So pivot would be the Mavs team totals to go over in this spot. I think first half, and I also really, really like my short list. Haven't played it yet. Luka over 30.5 points. Luka always seems to play well in LA. He always seems to play well against the Lakers. And I think you want to get that bad taste out your mouth and not go into Thanksgiving break on a 3-game losing streak. So Luka over his points more so than the team total. But I do like the Mavs to score a bunch of points tonight, and specifically Luka. So Luka over his 30.5 points is what I had written down. Really, really like that look a lot. And that's AD should, they've been giving up points in the paint. Derek Lively, God bless him tonight. He's going to have his hands full with AD. If AD decides to be aggressive, LeBron's been in his bag lately. Doesn't seem like it's something that's going to last for forever. But I couldn't talk you off just going back to Bron. I don't know who they have to be able to put pressure. Who's going to stop him at the rim? Because the Mavs don't have a lot of rim protection outside of Lively being down there. So those are my thoughts there. LeBron also hasn't even been ruled into this game yet. Anthony Davis is also a game time decision. I saw him listed as probable. Kyrie, of course, going to be in LA at crypto.com tonight. So yeah, that's the way I kind of see this game going. I see the Mavs winning, didn't play it. See Luka going over his 30.5 points. Luka Magic tonight in crypto.com arena, man. That's how I kind of see the game going. Take a deep breath. All right. Back to the comment section. I'm gonna tell you guys what I played. I'm gonna type it in and we'll go from there. So let's see. We have Jalen Green, 25 points by Rainier. I think is how you pronounce that. He likes that. Snag likes Luka everything. He always does. That's his guy. He bets on him pretty much every game. He likes Luka triple-double at plus 650. And then Kilo likes, he says, what about Kyrie rebounds and assists? Not something that I really looked into, Kilo Santiago. Not something that I looked into. Is Kyrie been rebounding the ball? I'm not 100% sure. Not something that I feel strongly on, so I'm not going to sway you one way or the other. All right, let's go back to everything that I've actually played today. Then I'll tell you guys what I haven't played that I'm probably going to end up playing. So let me go back to my notes real quick. Going all the way back to the top. All the way back to the top of the board for today. Now I don't have this typed out yet, but I will in a second. Mark Williams in the Charlotte game versus the Washington Wizards. Over 25.5 points plus rebounds. OKC, first half, minus 4.5. The Nets team total, over 115.5. Paolo Banchero, under his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Jakob Poeltl, under his 8.5 rebounds. Those are my favorite two unders on the board today. Also, I am going to add these. Houston Rockets, first quarter, minus 1.5 on FanDuel, minus 105. Houston Rockets, first half, minus 2.5 on BetRivers at minus 109. OKC, first quarter, minus 1.5 or minus 2 on DraftKings. I think you can get it with less juice. It's 2.5 in a lot of places, but you can get a 2 on DraftKings. So OKC, first quarter, minus 2. Strong looks that I haven't played yet. Scotty Barnes over his 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Probably going to get there. Also like the Schroeder look on his assists as well. Dylan Brooks over his 1.5 threes. I will be sprinkling all the way up to 4. Drew Holiday, PRA, maybe. Tatum over his rebounds and assist line. Probably going to be 14.5. And then I am definitely playing the Clippers team total over 119.5 on Bet365. That Miami Heat money line, so glad I waited. Will not be playing that without Bam being a part of that game. And then strong leans towards the Nets plus the 3, and De'Aaron Fox over his points. Hit the like button for me, man. Thank you guys for tapping in, tuning in, sticking with me. An hour and 38 minutes of just me talking about 3,000 game slate today, man. Let's get to some of the speakers. Dream, send me a request, my brother. I know I need you up here. I need to hear from you. Ben, I got you up. I want to hear from you first, Ben. Talk to me. What's going on? Ben might not be there. Let's get Godspeed up. Let's get Keith up. Godspeed, can you hear me?
Yo, what's good, bro?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. Another sweep yesterday, 4-0 straight. 12-0 in the last 12 straights that I've taken. I gave out Tobias Harris and Sadiq Bey. They both cashed. I gave them out in spaces yesterday. We didn't hit the revenge lay. We needed one Yang 3, and the Jazz got blown out anyway. So that was a dub, but that's why we go heavy on the straights, and we sprinkle the lottos for fun. But today I'm on De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, he's from Louisiana. I know they just played the Pelicans. 2 days ago? 1 day ago?
2 days ago.
But I'm on De'Aaron Fox 3s, bro. He took 12 threes that game. He's averaging like threes, bro. He's taking a lot of threes. And it's a bounce back spot for him. Off of 1 day's rest, he averaging 4.4 3-pointers made. I'm gonna say that again. Off of 1 day's rest this season, he's averaging 4.4 3-pointers made. So what I did was I took his 2.5, his juice at minus 150. I'll put that with Sabonis 10 rebounds, which he's hit in every game versus the Pelicans as a king. So it's a 100% hit rate. I'm expecting Sabonis to get his 10 rebounds. And like I said, I went ahead and let De'Aaron Fox. I got my OKC Thunder bet of the day, SGA, over 11.5 rebounds and assists. Bulls is top 10 and giving up rebounds and assists. The point guards, he had 15 the first game of the season. We bust their ass. Ain't nothing gonna change, man. We still gonna bust their ass. SGA gonna do what he do. And then one last bet, Jokic over 12.5 rebounds. He's gonna be mad from getting ejected early. The Magic, they struggle with rebounding to centers. So I took Jokic rebounds, and I got I'm gonna post some more plays on my Twitter. Like I said in the spaces a couple days ago, I got all my plays available in my Dub Club for free this whole week. So I got about maybe 7 units out right now. So I got plenty of action. If anybody want to check it out, just shoot me a DM or go on my Twitter. And we looking to go undefeated again, man. 12-0 in the last 2 days on straights, Chris. The heater is here.
Hey, I love to hear, bro. I love to hear, and it's kind of symbolic of you giving it out for free all of a sudden, and then boom, you catch fire. So you're doing the right thing, man. I appreciate you doing that, and sharing the plays with the community, man. Best of luck.
Chris,
yeah.
One more thing, Chris. I know you was talking about Jason Tatum. I gotta lean I'm taking Tatum something if he's ruled in. Gave out National Jason Tatum Day when he dropped the 45 feet, but believe it or not, in the last 3 out of 4 games versus the Bucks, he's had 40 points. In 3 out of the last 4 games, he's had 40. So Jason Tatum is a guy that takes a lot of threes. I don't know if I'm going to take his threes or I don't know. If he's ruled in, I'm taking Tatum something. So be on the lookout. And I got Tatum and Luka 3-pointers locked in my save on FanDuel, but I haven't locked it in just because the news. But I'm probably going to do something with Tatum and Luka. I think both of them going to get busy tonight. Pause.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm interested to see what he. I just hope that I can read like something from a beat reporter that tells me a little bit more on the status of Tatum before they say, oh, he's ruled in, and everybody just go run to back him or whatever the case might be. But we'll see how it goes. Best of luck tonight, guys. Appreciate you, bro.
What's up, bro? Good luck tonight.
Absolutely. Stay hot too, bro. You cashing. All right, let's go, Cam, and then Keith, and then we'll keep going. What's up, Cam? Talk to me. Let's go, Keith. Keith, what's going on, my brother? Can you hear me? Cam, can you hear me?
Yeah,
No. It's all good. It's all good.
You can't take calls. People are like, "Oh, Cam, you're working late." I was like, I'm just listening to Chris. That's all. But yeah, so yeah, I just gotta say the Raptors suck.
Precious Ochoa just got rolled out too, Cam. Just FYI.
Say again?
I said Precious Ochoa Precious got ruled out. Larry Nance Jr. is available to play.
The rest of the season. Jesus Christ, what a bad basketball player.
Yeah. PJ Washington also just got ruled out for people who care. PJ Washington got ruled out for with a foot injury for Charlotte as well.
Word. So I'm just on one play. A little cold right now, so I'm just on one play tonight, and they're after the game. Scotty Barnes over his 18.5. Him not taking shots isn't working. So realistically, I expect him to get up more than 11 shots, which he had the last 2 games. Obviously, it was a blowout against Detroit. But yeah, we kind of go Scotty goes. I hope somebody had a conversation with him. He should be getting at least 15 shots up and getting goal line, and then that's when he clears that line, no problem. It was all the way up to 21.5. It's kind of back down. So I'm just jumping on the line now that it's at 18.5. So that's big.
the 20 points makes the most sense. So that's just my one play for the night. Hoping he can get right. I wouldn't bet on the Raptors to win tonight, but I'm hoping it's a Scotty get right night. We funnel the usage through him. But that's my one play for the day.
Okay. Hey, best of luck tonight, Ken. Best of luck, bro. Appreciate you sharing the look. Keith, talk to me. What's going on, Keith? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Chris? How you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain.
It's good to hear. Happy holidays, everybody. If you celebrate.
Yes, sir. Right back at you.
Too many games for me to look at, and I'm about to enjoy the day off for tomorrow. So I only really locked in 3 plays. I did take Josh Richardson over his 8.5 before the news just came out. He's gone over that number in 3 of his 4 last 3 to 4 games versus the Cavs and different uniforms versus them. And I also just see his usage going up slightly over the last few games. I also don't see another person that can go. If you did want to take another look or another angle at it, I definitely love Craig Porter Jr. I'm not going to end up betting it, but just from watching him in summer league, he really does a good job grabbing rebounds and assisting the ball, but particularly assisting the ball, something that he's really good at. Without Bam, I don't see how we could stop Mobley and Allen, that big-to-big connection, or even if Craig Porter and Jared Allen are to pick a roll. I just don't see how we're going to be able to stop that. For the last few years, we've been at the bottom of the league in terms of rim protection and the defensive field goal percentage. So definitely a look at Craig Porter Jr.'s assist if the line comes out. If we get like a 4.5, probably 3.5. But another play I locked in. This was my favorite play of the day. DeAndre Ayton double-double. The Utah Jazz have given up a double-double in 4 straight games without Walker Kessler. 4 straight opponents. They played Phoenix back-to-back, and I did take Nurkic last time when they played on their season tournament. He didn't get it, but he did secure the double-double in the next game, and we know what Anthony Davis just did to them last game. So I got it this morning at plus 125. I think the number came down like minus 130. I still think it's playable. Even Aiton's ex-teammates were just saying that he's a great player. We just want to see that consistency out of him every day. And if anyone is an athlete, when you just hear that coming from past teammates or anybody, should be a motivation spot, and you still want to show your new franchise and organization that you can do this on a night-to-night basis. Will I take him afterwards? Most likely not. But I think it's a good day for him to get a double-double, considering that the Jazz surrendered to 4 straight opponents grabbing a double-double. And then another look that I liked today was, I know people were telling me about Lonnie Walker. So the last look I liked today, I like Dyson Daniels, man. I'm high on the Pelicans defensively. I don't know how they're going to put it together offensively for the whole season without CJ, but I like Dyson Daniels. The books finally adjusted to his 1.5 steals, but I took it. Drafted at plus 170. He's gone over that number in 2 of the last 4 games. He's had 1 steal each. If you want to take 1 steal, I believe it's juiced at minus 250, but then you can combine that with something that's like 100% hit rate. I'm taking a 1.5 steals straight. I think Fox is going to draw Herb Jones, given that he's rested. And I think Dyson's going to be able to kind of play off ball on defense and playing those passing lanes. So, those are my 3 looks. Josh Richardson over 8.5 points for the Heat. DeAndre Ayton double-double, and it was 2 steals.
Yeah, I think the Ayton look, I really like the Ayton look a lot, Keith. I really wanted to fade Ayton after playing so good last night, but hard to fade anybody against a bad defense like the Utah Jazz. Like you mentioned the numbers and you laid it out, so I couldn't get there with fading them. And I also, I thought when I read the comment about Devin Booker saying, I challenged him to play like that every night. It's like, damn, like now you done put the fire underneath him, and like all the eyes gonna be on him tonight. So I couldn't get there with his under. I do like, it's over. I think you got a good look there, a couple good looks there for sure. Appreciate you sharing the look, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. So I got to finish finalizing my card, but let's keep going. Let's go Dream, then Finesse, and then we'll get up a couple more people before we jump off here. Dream, talk to me, my brother. What's going on, man? What's the vibe? I'm good, Dream. Bro, low-key head hurt, man. So much to like tonight. I can't remember it all. What's going on with you, man? Tell me what you liking for tonight.
Yeah, it is exhausting, man. Gave out 1 straight yesterday, 1-0, blunt money bet folded. So I don't want to give out. It's a lot of people to speak. So you want my straights, I got 3 of them. They'll be on my timeline in a minute. But as far as blow money bets, I got a few of them. I'm gonna let go. Y'all talking about Lonnie, and I think I heard somebody mention Schroeder. Great spots for both of them tonight. I think Lonnie going against Atlanta. He's been on the heater. We've been cashing on Lonnie, I feel like, for 2 weeks now. And Schroeder, good by low spot, 10 assists, plus 700 on FanDuel. It's crazy. I wonder if it is on DraftKings. I ain't checked, but you can do Lonnie to get 20 points, and you can do Schroeder to get 8 assists, and that's a plus 1,300. Love that. And also lay for the Nets and Atlanta game. So all these guys get, like, for lack of a better term, they got the best matchup that they can fucking have against their position. So Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, Mikal Bridges, all to go over their 3-point prop. 2 of them are plus money. So Trae Young to have 3 threes, Mikal Bridges to have 3 threes, and DeAndre Hunter to have 2 threes. Plus 808. Love it. Again, let me see. The Nets give up the most threes to point guards. The Nets give up the most threes to small forwards. And Atlanta gives up the most threes to small forwards to shoot guards. So that's what Mikal Bridges is. So love that look. And y'all mentioned the Aaron Gordon revenge spot here, right? Okay, all right, so I don't need to talk about that. All right, yeah, so that's what I'm on, man. Best of luck to everybody.
Hey, best of luck to you too. Hey, Dream, real quick, that Heat game, who got the best value in that game, you think?
I'm waiting, and my guy George Niang fronted after a beautiful start yesterday. But honestly, I heard you talking about the Craig Reynolds, I'm thinking that, whatever the guard.
Porter.
What's the guard you said?
Porter Jr.?
Yeah, Porter Jr. I don't know why I thought Reynolds. And honestly, I think Niang, with Wade getting ruled out again. Well, not ruled out again, but Wade getting ruled out. Levert and what's the name get ruled out again? Niang is gonna actually get the full course of minutes, not just a strong first half. So I would say Niang and your boy Porter Jr. because I mean shit, pigs fly, but I don't see Garland having increased usage like that on back-to-back nights.
I would agree. Okay. I wanted to make sure. I wanted your take on that for sure. Okay. Hey, appreciate the dream as always, my brother. Get some cash tonight, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. We don't have NBA tomorrow, so we got to get paid today. If you want to shop on Black Friday. I'm just kidding. Let's go Finesse. Finesse, what's going on, my brother? Talk to me.
What's good, bro? You feeling?
I'm good, man. Just a little overwhelmed, bro, but it's all good,
Yeah, I feel that. It's been a minute since I've been up here, so I'm happy to be back. I try my best to make this a daily thing. I love, hearing what everybody got to say. But, no NBA tomorrow. I doubt you're running the show, so happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody listening to this shit. A lot to be thankful for, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro.
Whatever you're going through, you know what I'm saying? It's still a lot to be thankful for. So hopefully, you can spend some time with your family or your loved ones and shit and enjoy the time. So, despite it being a huge slate, I don't really like these kind of slates. Like everybody's saying, there's so much to like. So I'm just trying to keep it kind of tight. Pause. So my first play is Scotty Barnes. I got it at 30.5 PRA. I think Kenny broke it down well. My problem with Scotty is, even in some matchups that look to be good matchups, he just seems kind of not all the way locked in, kind of passive, and he can dominate most matchups with the combination of his size and his ability. And if there's ever a matchup to dominate, I mean, we saw last night what happened, just a crazy ass game. Highest total in over 20 years, and they flew over that with 9 minutes left to go in the game. It was crazy. So this Pacers team, back to back, terrible defensively. He should dominate. Pressure to it, getting ruled out, I think only helps. Especially with the rebounds and shit like that. He's just a matchup nightmare. I mean, who's gonna guard him? Bruce Brown, too small. What's the Neesmith just got ruled out? Who's a decent defender. Obi Toppin, I don't think can really guard him. So I don't really see a matchup for Scotty. So I think he can get to at least 20, 25 points and dominate. So I played over 30.5 PRA. I'm good with it. I know it went up. I'm good with it. 31.5, 32.5 even. I also played Barnes 25 plus points. I got it at plus 420. I think it's around plus 350 right now. I played the double-double at plus 215. And I also played the triple-double at plus 2,500. The triple-double is something I've tried to stab with a couple times with Scotty without success. Obviously, it's a long shot, but I really do think he could dominate. So, leads the team in usage. Shots should be there. Like Cam said, 15 plus shots is what we're looking for. We can't help if they go in or out. We just want them to take the shot. So, love Scotty Barnes. Next play, Jonas Valanciunas over 11.5 rebounds and assists. I also played his 12 plus rebounds at plus 235 on DK. I like it anywhere, plus 200 and north. Looking at the matchup overall and the matchup with Sabonis, I mean, he's covered this numerous times just with rebounds alone, which is why I'm playing the 12 plus. Obviously, the assists aren't going to be, bountiful, but he's still averaging, a little over 4 potential per game this year. So, throwing 2 or 3 assists, hopefully. I think he can smash this line. I think he can, like I said, hit over 11.5 rebounds and assists with just rebounds. So I like the potential assist, rebound chances. He's converting an elite amount of his rebound chances. So I love that. Him out of Bayou got ruled out, which really fucking sucks. I had 2 unit play on his under 36.5 PRA. Had a whole pretty ass write-up about it, but he's ruled out, so we'll move past that. A couple of builders I like too. I've been throwing a lot of these in NBA season. I aim for just a couple of things. Hit rates, I like 90 to 100% hit rates, and matchup really, and I try to be as safe as I can. So first builder is Kyle Kuzma, 15 plus points, LaMelo Ball, 6 plus assists, and Minnesota Timberwolves money line. I played this before Embiid was ruled out. Obviously, major help for the Minnesota money line. So that late when I played it was minus 125. Really like that for obvious reasons. The other builder is OKC money line, SGA 4 plus assists, and Aaron Gordon 10 plus points. So I mentioned hit rate, SGA 4 plus assists every single game. Aaron Gordon 10 plus points every single game, but 2, and those 2 games were blowouts. I think he gets super involved even versus Orlando Magic defense. That's pretty tough. The last one, so FanDuel's offering a 30% boost on SGPs plus 400 and above. So I'm just playing a couple of double-doubles. So it has to be an SGP plus included. So it has to be kind of an SGP in the same game. And then you can throw other shit in there. So I manually did Fred VanVleet double-double. So 10 plus assists, 10 plus points. I just threw Desmond Bain 2 plus 3s in there because I needed to. And then James Harden double-double, Jonas Valanciunas double-double. With the boost, that's plus 27, 28. All 3 of those guys, I think, are in a major matchups. Fred VanVleet, I think, has potential to get 12, 13 assists tonight. So Jonas already went through that, and then Harden too. Major matchup. Hopefully, it's not a blowout. They just blew out San Antonio, so hopefully San Antonio keeps it a little bit close. But yeah, that's it for me. Barnes over 30.5 PRA, 25 plus points, double-double, triple-double. Valanciunas over 11.5 rebounds and assists. The 2 builders I mentioned, and the double-double parlay. So, yeah, that's it for me, bro. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys, find a lot of value in the slate, a lot to take advantage of. So, good luck to everybody. Let's cash some tickets. I appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely, Finesse. Right back at you, my brother. Happy holidays to you and the fam as well. Yeah, we'll chop it up soon. I know me and you chop it up soon. Appreciate you, bro, as always, man. Dropping the gems as well. Finesse got a little bit of everything, man. He got streaks for y'all. He got a little builders. He got lotto. My guys all over the slate tonight. I love it, Finesse. Let's see. That's it. All right. So real quick, I want to get a couple more people up, but I do got to get off here. So we're gonna get a couple more up, but I want to solidify my card because at the bottom you guys see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays that I put in already so far. Those are Mark Williams over his points plus rebounds. Talked about that one in great detail earlier. Also already have put in OKC first half minus the 3.5. I give out the 3.5 because that's what the number is currently, but I did play it at 4.5 as well. So OKC plus minus 3.5 in the first half, minus 4.5. The Nets team total gave that one out on the timeline at 115.5. Paulo Banchero under his 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and Jakob Poeltl under his 8.5 rebounds. I gave all of those out already. What I'm going to be adding, and I just added this since while I've been letting people talk. I played the Clippers team total over 119.5. I ain't gonna lie to you. I actually fell asleep because I was so tired capping the car earlier. Just didn't lock that one in. But the Clippers, I talked about Vassell being back for the San Antonio Spurs. To me, that just means the Clippers going to have to score even more points because the San Antonio Spurs should score more points. So I locked in the Clippers over their team total 119.5 on Bet365 at -116. Also played Scotty Barnes, like Finesse just said. Love the spot for him tonight. The best line you can find right now for Scotty Barnes is 32.5 points, rebound, and assists. It is juiced at -120 on ESPN Bet, but that's fine. If you guys don't have access to ESPN Bet, MGM also has it at -121. So, just a cent difference there. But I did lock in Scotty Barnes over his points, rebounds, and assists line as well. I'm also going to be locking in Dylan Brooks over his 1.5 threes, his 3 threes, and his 4 threes. I'll be sprinkling there. And then I see you talking about it, Aiden. Those are the spreads that I'm going to be locking in. So I'm going to add 3 more spreads. Those 3 spreads are going to be OKC in the first quarter, -1.5, maybe -2. I got to figure out what the best number is. I haven't done that yet, but I will be adding that. We'll just call it 2 OKC in the first quarter. Houston first quarter and Houston first half. Those will be the looks that I'll be adding. So that's 1, 2. Dylan Brooks makes 3. Houston first quarter, first half, and OKC first quarter. We're already on the first half. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more plays. 6 more plays with Dylan Brooks. OKC first quarter, Houston first quarter, and first half. Those will be the looks that I'm gonna be adding. I'm not gonna get there with any of the other ones that we kind of talked about, even though I still do like De'Aaron Fox a lot tonight in this matchup. All right, cool. So that's what I'll add. I'll get that posted at the bottom. I got to send that out to the members as well real quick before the game start. But I did want to do that. Real quick, let's get Low up and let's get somebody else up that I wanted to hear from. I'll give Redemption a chance as well. I don't think Redemption has been up yet. Low, talk to me, man. What's going on?
Man, listen, bro. I think I figured out why Embiid is taking the night off tonight, bro. Because the way he was getting barbecue chicken by Jared Allen yesterday was ridiculous. He needed a night off, dog. Okay, Jared Allen gave that man the business.
He did.
He said, I got shit out tonight. You know what I mean? I gave him 26 and 13 to this guy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. He did get. Yeah, he talked about it in the post game interview. He said he would step slow to the ball. Just really weren't aggressive until the second half came, and then they picked up the defense. But you're right.
Bro, it's crazy. I'm sick. So my apologies to the community if you guys tell them taking Jared Allen under his points and rebounds yesterday. He's trying to bounce back today. I feel like, with Paul Reed being in place of Embiid tonight, I feel like he's going to be barbecue chicken tonight too, right? I say that because I think Rudy Gobert and Towns are just going to have a field day on him. They're going to possibly beat him up, exhaust him, maybe potentially get him in foul trouble, kind of like what we thought that Embiid was going to do with Jared, was to try to get him in foul trouble. But I think that they're probably going to get Reed into foul trouble, and this PRA for Reed to me is just a little bit too high. I do see it at 20.5. I'm going to ride with the under here at 20.5 at -110. I mean, we're talking about a Minnesota defense that is second best in points allowed, 7th best in rebounds allowed, and also 7th best in assists allowed. So I just don't think that he has a lot of success tonight. And on top of that, he hasn't hit this number in 20 straight games. I get it. He's coming off the bench, of course, for Embiid, but I just think that they're going to make it hell for him tonight. And I don't think that he has a lot of success down there in the paint. So I'm rocking with Paul Reed under his PRA, 20.5, -110.
Okay, Paul Reed under tonight. That could be a really good spot, Low, just because of the simple fact you want to fade players on the second leg of a back-to-back, especially coming off an overtime game and they had to travel. So, they had to travel cross country at that too. So, could not talk you off there, Low. Like that look a lot. Redemption, my guy, I know you've been waiting for a minute. I don't think you've been on the show before, so welcome up. Share whatever it is that you have for us. The floor is yours.
I appreciate that. Yeah, this is my first time this year. I've done that a couple times last year.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I'm on. I heard a lot of people on them, but I'm on Jordan tonight. He's back in Orlando. Look at his game balls. He goes crazy against them. I'm sprinkling on the 15 in the win, the 20 in the win, PPD. Also, I got a sneaky look. I'm on Kyle Kuzma's assists. So last game, I think he had 13 assists, some crazy shit. So I looked into it. I listened to the press conference, and he basically said he's basically trying to pass the ball more, try to help Poole get involved, shit like that. So I'm gonna sprinkle on his over the 8 just to see what see if you're really about that. So that's it though.
Okay. Kyle Kuzma. I like the narrative play, Redemption. I like that you did your homework there, bro. It's probably going to end up cashing, especially against a really lackluster defense in the Charlotte Hornets. So could definitely not talk you off. Appreciate you waiting, my guy, and contributing. Best of luck to you tonight, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Finesse, I see your hand up. Kick it back to you. Hatakari, I think is how you pronounce that. Says Zach LaVine is out.
Yep, that's what I was going to say, bro. That was it.
Yeah. All right, bet. All right, we got to go because I ain't locked that in yet. Who was on him? Oh my gosh, bro. Zach LaVine is out, and I ain't even give out the first quarter bet yet. I mean, I gave it out to you guys, but I ain't give it out to the members. And I saw that too. Appreciate you guys for letting me know. I gotta hurry up and lock that in ASAP because that spread is going to definitely move. You can actually still get a 7.5, a 6 on BetMGM is why I'm going to right now. But this is why I gotta be off the show. This is exactly why I gotta be off the show. First quarter spread for the for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Is 2.5. I'm locking that in on BetMGM right now. Oh no. Oh all right, cool. Let me I need to hold on. Y'all we got to work with me real quick because I got to get this first quarter in. I played the first half already. I really need this 2.5. I was gonna lock it in at 2. The 2 is gone. BetMGM moves a tad bit slow. So if you guys are doing what I'm doing, you're heading to BetMGM right now. You're trying to get this 2.5 before it is too juiced. All the other books really have it locked up right now. So OKC first quarter minus the 2.5. Yeah, I like it a lot, and I was able to get that in. Okay, minus 110 too. So yeah, so we got OKC first quarter minus 2.5 now, and then Houston, like I said, first quarter, first half as well. Appreciate you, Finesse, for shouting that out. And that's what we'll end the show, man. Like I said, I'll go over it one more time for you guys. The 5 plays that I posted on Twitter. 5 plays posted on Twitter are Mark Williams over his 25.5 points plus rebounds. OKC first half, I got the minus 3.5 and minus 4.5. I also got the first quarter now, minus 2.5. Nets team total over 115. Paulo Banchero under 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Jakob Poeltl under 8.5 rebounds. Clippers team total over 119.5, not added to the bottom on the YouTube screen, but you guys have it. Scotty Barnes over his 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And OKC, I talked about OKC already. So those are the plays, man. Best of luck if you guys are tailing any. Definitely hit the like button for me. Show some love. We've been on here for 2 hours and 7 minutes, and it's still 176 people rocking with me live. I appreciate y'all, man. Best of luck. Enjoy Thanksgiving tomorrow if you celebrate. We'll be back to do this all over again on Friday. Also doing an NFL show tomorrow too, so it's no days off for me at all, ever. And I got a couple articles to write. But best of luck to everybody, man. All love as always, all the time. Enjoy the game tonight, and let's get some cash, man. We don't do this for nothing.
What time the NFL show?
The NFL show tomorrow gonna be like 5 o'clock tomorrow on same Sports Gambling Podcast Network with my guy Munoz. We're gonna be going over the slate for the NFL games on the weekend. We actually looking ahead to the weekend. So yeah, yep. My God, appreciate you for that. All right, I'm out, man. Best of luck to everybody. Like I said, all love, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Hit the like button for me on your way out. We out.